Are they going to try to run you?
No.
No, starting till 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we start executive session at 6 o'clock tonight, which means you're welcome to stay and get.
Yeah, we're gonna go in another room.
We
and come back
anticipate
out.
being out by 7.
So come back to 7.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's call this meeting to order. Sue, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Gladly.
Give us a nice salute to the flag.
Here we go. To the greatest country of the world, our sign of freedom and independence, I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to take a moment of silence for all of our first responders that we've lost this week. Some people may have heard of some situations that occurred, and I'd like to just take a moment of silence. Thank you. Administrator, can you read our sunshine notice?
Glad to. Notice requirements of the New Jersey Public Meetings Law have been satisfied by noticing the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times on January 3rd, 2025, stating that a regular meeting of the Colts Neck Township Committee would be held on December 10, 2025, 7 p.m. Town Hall, 1 Veterans Way, Colts Neck. A copy is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Further, notice was provided to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times on December 1st, 2025, noting the meeting time change from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Thank you. May I have a roll call?
Yes, you may. Who are you people? Deputy Mayor Viola.
Here.
Committeeman Bezetta.
Here.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick. Committeeman Rizzuto.
Here.
Mayor Buss.
I am here. Resolution 2025-191, executive session, potential litigation, contract negotiations, and personnel. Any comments? Can I get a motion to approve?
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We anticipate being back by 7 p.m. for those of you watching online.
Same people, same time. You don't actually do one every option. Same group. I don't know. This is ridiculous. This is needed. I think I'm not actually bring this. Said the state could override. The state could override. I know. Took them 10 years, but they did it. I know, you're disgusting. How long are you here? Staying here. Yes. I don't like it. You just figure out what you like next week. I was on the White House. That's correct. Now I'm on Blue Mountain. I have a lot of talent. Yeah, I do, yeah. No, you are. Yeah, I have a Cadillac. Yeah. I know, yeah. Yeah. Yes. I know, I know. I know. It's all the time. Like Mr. Brown's house. It's always that. Because when you stop sign up, you get down. Yes. Yes. I guess that's so, yeah. That it was not going to be touched. Correct. I know.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I got the seats already.
Ready to go?
March. Had 6 weeks this year. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I've had people, I turned the book left, I have people around it. They go around me. My left.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys are
Nice
a little closer to me.
I'm trying to take over here.
Nice try. Step aside. Step aside.
What is it?
Beautiful.
Yep, thank you.
Can I get a motion to go back into session?
And as I turn on my camera, not my camera, that's a microphone, excuse me. Again, I apologize to everyone for the time delay. Very important issues that we were discussing in executive. Happy to have everybody here. We're going to start out with a proclamation for National Drunk Drug Driving Prevention Month. Unfortunately, Anita Dedalius, who is the chair of our Colts Neck Prevention Alliance, couldn't be here. It is her granddaughter's winter concert today, so we wish her well. And this proclamation is on her behalf and for the group. It is the mayor's proclamation proclaiming December 2025 as National Drunk and Drug Driving Prevention Month within Colts Neck Township. Now, again, for those of you who are new to meetings, whoever developed the format for resolutions, it's crazy. We have a lot of whereas, and I apologize, but please listen to the message. Whereas, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, one person is killed about every 39 minutes in a drunk driving crash, totaling more than 13,000 lives lost each year. And whereas the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration shows that in 2022, 13,524 people died in alcohol-impaired driving accidents. And whereas the December holiday season is traditionally one of the most deadly times of the year for alcohol-impaired driving, and whereas for thousands of families across the nation, the December holidays are a sad time to remember loved ones they lost to an impaired driver during a previous holiday season. And whereas organizations across the nation are joined with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to launch Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over, and if you feel different, you drive different. Drive high and get a DUI, a national public awareness campaign and law enforcement initiative. Whereas the community of Colts Neck Township is a partner in that effort to make our roads safer. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Tara Torsha-Buss, Mayor of Colts Neck Township, together with the entire Colts Neck Township Committee, do hereby proclaim December 2025 as Drunk and Drugged Driving Month in Colts Neck Township, and do hereby call upon all citizens, government agencies, business leaders, hospitals and healthcare providers, schools, public and private institutions in Colts Neck Township to promote awareness of the impaired driving problem, to support programs and policies to reduce the incidence of impaired driving, to promote safer, healthier behaviors regarding the use of alcohol and other drugs, and to provide opportunities for all to participate in the Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over, or if you feel different, you drive different, and the Drive High, Get a DUI campaign this December holiday season throughout the year. For many of you, you may have seen in the newspapers, just reports of places all around Monmouth County where they're doing high ticketing campaigns, very targeted enforcement. To be perfectly honest with you, as someone who does human resources and runs background checks and motor vehicle checks on folks, I am shocked and amazed, especially when I do seasonal appointments with the young folks, and I see many people here are older than 18, not making assumptions of ages, but shocked at the number of folks 18 to 25 that are getting DUIs. I thought this was a thing of the past. I was like, what? I just thought like the young people learned their lesson. It's happening and we all have to be vigilant. So I thank Anita Dedalius for her work in the Colts Neck Prevention Alliance. I'm happy to be the liaison for them. And let's just remember some of those messages. Let's move to minutes. November 12th, 2025 executive session and November 12th regular meeting. That was a really good day, wasn't it? November 12th. A lot of people came for my birthday that day.
Oh,
Packed house.
yes.
It was a packed house. Can I get a
Motion to
motion?
approve.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we need a roll call.
Roll call, yeah. Deputy Mayor Viola,
Yes.
Committeeman Bezetta,
Yes.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Committeeman Rizzuto,
Yes.
Mayor Buss.
Yes.
Motion
We have a
passes.
discussion item on the agenda, 97 Cedar Drive. Mr. Shane Marco regarding entry piers and wall. Oh, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, member of the council, Martin Flager.
You know, I'm so sorry. Make sure that's on. Just give it a tap. Okay, there's a button right there at the top. Press that down. Let's try that again. There we go. Thank you, sir.
Martin Flager, Harder and Flager, representing Mr. Marco. Good evening, Mayor,
evening.
members of the council. This is a request. The client lives in 97 Cedar, right up the street here. Relatively new to town. He can explain, but he had some issues with trespassers and a car doing donuts on his lawn. So we decided to build a wall. And unfortunately, he hired a contractor to do that, and he's about 6 inches in certain places onto the township right away. He was also too high, but he has corrected that to bring everything down to 4 feet. So he did go to the zoning board. I was not part of that. The zoning board was not inclined to give him the relief for the height, so he took it down to 4 feet. But they obviously can't do any relief for the encroachment onto the township property. So Tim had directed him to come here, which he did. He asked me to help him. So we're here. Mr. Marco's here to answer any questions. He's got some pictures of what the wall looks like. We do have a survey if you don't have any of that stuff. You have pictures already?
Yeah, the governing body has been
Yes.
supplied with all the photos that you submitted.
And we're willing to,
Whatever you sent us is what we have.
wait till see, yes. But we're just asking for a license, a revocable license or easement that we can continue that until the town determines at some point they either need to do a road widening or they just don't want it there anymore. And obviously, we'll take it down.
So, Mr. Fliger, let me just get this straight. You're actually not, you're not even asking for an easement. You're asking for a license,
We'll
which,
do either or. I mean, the easement's better for us, but the license, whatever's better for the town, I think.
so the difference is
So-
one would be filed, the license would be, we could take it back at any
Right.
time. So, that's two options for the council.
I mean, for
Make it.
protection of the town, it may be better to record something, but we'll take either option. If the
One's an
town-
agreement, one is we would be vacating part of our easement, allowing him to encroach. Now, the encroachment is what specifically?
It's approximately 6 inches, and
Yeah.
it's not the
Yeah.
entire, he's got a 200-foot frontage. It's not the whole frontage. It's about 50 feet on, if you're looking at the house on the right side and the entrance, there's the wall where you go into the driveway where his mailbox is, and they're about 6 inches over. On the
Right, it
west side.
ranges, if you, in your packets, you have a survey which shows the property line and the edge of pavement. So it goes from 0.76 feet at its lowest point to 0.87. So somewhere between basically
8,
5
7, 9
and
inches.
10 inches,
Yeah.
just over 10 inches.
Attorney Bennett,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Attorney Bennett, whether we do easement or license, both are revocable.
No, the license is far more, but you've got far more latitude to revoke.
Right.
The easement, if we were going to vacate easement, that would be filed and we'd be vacating the
Okay.
easement.
And I did consult with the township engineer, who opined that should there be a sentiment by behalf of the township to widen Cedar, even with the wall in place where it is, there's still enough,
Setback.
there's stuff back to put in to widen that road.
And Kathleen, maybe you could answer this. So we oftentimes have right-of-ways for the purpose of utility lines,
Utilities,
that kind of stuff. Would you be able to speak to what's under there, or maybe Marty, you can?
It's my
I'm sorry,
understanding it's
Mr.
just for
Flager.
road widening purposes. I don't believe there's any utilities. I
No.
mean, Mr. Marco, do you have overhead there or?
Yes, I notified all the utility companies, with certified letters and.
Mr. Marco, if you just talk
I'm
closer to
sorry,
the.
I'm sorry, I
that's
apologize,
okay.
I'm short. And so I notified, Tim recommended all the utility companies. And if there was issues or anything, and it came back all in the positive, where I did show the board, town board, but there is, a retaining wall underneath it to keep it sturdy, and there's no utilities whatsoever.
There's no gas line?
No gas line, no.
No, there's no utilities, and the health officer did review it for any type of concerns related to the septic and the well, and there are no concerns there either.
Are these large boulders, are they in the area as well? They're in the right of way as well.
That is true. Those rocks,
Yeah, those,
In
and
the
he
photo?
can answer that. He put them there because the UPS truck keeps driving on that,
No, no,
on the area.
those are just my pavers, the skirt.
no, I think Mr.
Rocks,
Viola is
yeah.
referring to these,
Yeah.
I think that's more of a decorative piece.
It's not permanent.
They're really there, they're not permanent, they're there to
I could
prevent.
pick them up and.
So that is not something that we'd even permit
That's not an
for
encroachment, it's not
regardless.
permanent.
Yeah.
It's not an
Yeah.
official structure.
People do that. all the time.
So I've heard several different things from different folks on this, as far as, I think there's been a lot of misinformation out there, utilities, septic, sewer, that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, our township planner was unable to be here to answer maybe some specific questions that we might have. Does anyone have questions that they want to ask? I mean, I know for me, I can speak to, this was not permitted.
That's correct.
And I understand you just moved to town. Welcome. Your holiday decorations are lovely for anyone who hasn't seen them. Very, very happy. Well, maybe the Halloween decorations weren't as happy, but
Mr. Mayor, somebody asked a question. His leach field is in the front yard, which is why the wall, it couldn't be really pushed back any further except for a couple inches because of his leach field.
okay, gotcha. Thank you. I think there was some misinformation there. So did you try and file a permit? Didn't get the permit? Just so I understand kind of the background on that part, because I don't know. I haven't.
I made the error of New Yorker moving into Jersey. Oh, sorry. I made the error of moving into Jersey.
Well, that wasn't the error.
I made the error of not knowing.
Behaving like a New Yorker that moved to
I know I
Jersey.
am.
No offense.
I'm very nervous. A lot of people here. Sorry.
They're all friends.
But I did not realize putting a wall. I understood structures and, but a wall is a structure, I guess. I found out now. So now I'm just trying to do it right with, I'm back and forth with Tim. I'm in walking distance, so I go visit him all the time.
And just for the committee's efficacy, when you're looking at an application like this for review, you should be looking at it as if it hasn't already happened. You should be looking at it as this is new. There's no background of where we got here. You're looking at just whether or not you're going to grant the easement or not, or grant the licensure or not. That's typically what is said in the planning board arena, and I just want to make sure you guys understand that.
I'm satisfied that, the wall's substantially built. It's an improvement to the property. You needed it to protect your front lawn.
Well, the day car went out of control was last year
Right.
when we had that snow and my
Yep.
kids were in the front yard. So
And your leach field's in the front yard. It seems like it's substantially built. It doesn't seem like the county engine or our engineer has any problem, even if the road needs to be widened, that it still wouldn't need to be moved. Clearly, I'd be inclined towards the license though.
if that was the case, I'll work with the
Yeah,
town, of course, any which way I can.
I agree with that also, because I think with all our professionals having made the comment that they approve it, so.
Quite honestly, I think your microphone may be unplugged from the bottom based upon an
Yeah.
incident we had in the planning board meeting last night. So
You had to yank somebody's.
Yeah, I got it.
there may have been an accident that wasn't rectified after the meeting. I apologize in advance for that. So I think that's it. Committeeman Viola and Bezetta.
There we go. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I agree with the going the route of the license so that if we had to at some future point, for whatever reason, request that the wall be taken down, we have that opportunity to do that.
Or the homeowner must be required to do that. Just to clarify, the township would at no point in time go on your property and take down your wall.
Plus the license, if in the event, which I don't plan on anytime soon, I just came to town, I'll protect the new homeowner, kind of, with that license, that they're aware that.
Yeah,
in
with the
event-
license be.
The license
Stays with the
license-
property.
Yeah, the license will stay
Follows
with the
the property.
property. Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
I would be inclined to consider a license, not an easement relief.
All right.
I'm in agreement as well. I understand the situation, especially with your leach field. I'm glad to have more information from our professionals to kind of, some of the information I had prior to this was a little bit unclear. So I would be inclined to go with the license as well, rather than the other.
Okay, so Mr. Flager, what we'll do is we'll work out a license agreement, and obviously it will include that removal at the township request at your client's cost.
Correct.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Thank
And
you.
if you're going to make any changes to your property, go see Tim to see if you need a variance beforehand.
Now
Well,
that you're friends.
Now you know.
I was going to say, now that we're friends with Tim, no, and again, welcome to town, and
Welcome.
we appreciate your holiday cheer.
Appreciate your time.
Well,
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
You guys got it busy.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's move on to new business, Resolution 2025-192, authorizing emergency replacement of Colts Neck Township Town Hall Annex HVAC system.
I can speak to this. So yes, as you know, we have the annex next door. The best way to explain this is kind of like a two-zone system. You've got the upstairs and you got the downstairs. The upstairs one is brand new. It's working fine. Everything's good there. The downstairs system, a component part failed after 30-some years. So it was past its useful life. We've squeezed everything we could out of it. But unfortunately, it did fail. So that's what this is to replace that component part to the tune of $13,000. It's related to the blower in the basement. Some might say, well, why do you have to have heat in the basement when everyone's now upstairs? Just like any other home, if one zone's not working, that taxes that other zone and creates an overuse of that equipment. And that basement is still being used as storage. So climate control is certainly important. Both HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning in the summertime, and this component part is needed for those pieces as well.
Is the part available?
It's not here yet. It's been ordered because this was an emergency fix, but it won't get here until hopefully by Friday, maybe early next week.
So it's imminent.
It's imminent.
I know that the folks might be a little bit cold. in
They're a
there,
little
but it's-
chilly, and we're accommodating to the extent necessary, but they're being good sports.
So the repair would be rendered fairly quickly.
Yes, absolutely.
How many companies were solicited to do the work? Do we know?
Because it was an emergent situation, we went with a vendor that we've had experience with in the past that we knew could do the work and had the component parts. So we didn't go out to bid per
A lot of
se.
money.
Yes, it is.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's move on to our consent agenda. All items listed on our consent agenda are considered routine by the township and are adopted or approved collectively by a single motion and roll call vote of a majority of the township committee. If discussion is desired on any item, it is considered separately. Resolution 2025-193 through 2025-199. Can I get a motion to approve?
Before that, Madam Mayor,
Yes.
may I just note that one of the items is to purchase vehicles for the police department. These were items that were approved in the capital budget at the beginning of 2025, correct? So this is
Correct.
already
Yeah.
money that was approved as
Yes.
part of that capital budget process, not
Yeah.
new monies?
Nope.
Okay.
That's a good point, because when the vehicles are delivered next year, it'll look like they were purchased in '26, but they're purchased in '25.
Okay, thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Yes, Deputy Mayor Viola,
Yes.
Committeeman Bezetta,
Yes.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Committeeman Rizzuto,
Yes.
Mayor Bus.
Yes. Approval of vouchers. Finance Chair, would you like to wow and amaze us?
I will, and this was my last time doing the vouchers. I stamped my last voucher today.
Can you stop smiling so big?
It actually took 2 visits because it's been a month since our last meeting. Our November meeting was early. So it was a large list. It was a heavy lift. There are 6. I added the fire department expenses, which totaled $124,575. Colts Neck Board of Ed, $1.6 million. Freehold Regional, $1.13 million. Miko for road work, $413,000. Bennett for leaf pickup, roughly $150,000. And a bond principal of $933,000. We pay bonds twice a year. We pay the principal in November and we pay the interest in May. So all of those 6 items equate to over $4.3 million, or 88% of the total. So you're looking at a large number, but when you take the schools and everything out, the number to run the town is much lower. So I've found all in order. I moved the amount of $4,945,568.76 for payment.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Viola,
Yes.
Committeeman
Usual.
Bezetta,
Yes, with the exception of the fire department?
understood. Committeewoman Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Committeeman Risotto,
Yes, with the exception of the fire department.
and Mayor Bus.
Yes, with the exception of any bills related to the municipal court. Administrator report.
Okay, in your packet is information in connection with the annual E. Murray Todd Half Marathon. So this is an event that has been taken place through Colts Neck for many years. Once again, they're hosting it on Sunday, March 8th, 2026. There's also a map that shows you where in Colts Neck it would traverse. Chief DeVito has been in touch with the organizers, so they've already discussed it, and he has no objections. Should you have no objections, obviously the two parties would work together closely with our law enforcement to ensure that the event runs in a smooth and safe fashion.
I have no objection.
I have no objection.
No
It's a
objection.
great race.
Yep, we've had no
Really,
issues with
yes,
this
no
particular
issues
group. They run a
previously.
real tight event, so very good. I will pursue that then with Chief DeVito and the organizer. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Township committee reports. Committeeman Bezzetta, why don't you start us out with some township committee reports?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll start with the Rec Committee. As a lot of you know, reporting on a very festive weekend we just had in Colts Neck. The Rec Committee did a great job with the tree lighting ceremony held out front on Saturday, December 6th, with Santa Claus arriving on a Harley Davidson. Tree looks a little small, but I've been told by Deputy Mayor Viola that it will grow. So bear with us. In a couple of years, we'll need a cherry picker to put lights on that tree. Rec Committee also sponsored and worked on with the Historical Society the Country Christmas. We'll hear more about that, but it was very well attended. That was this past Sunday with a plaque dedicated to Lillian Burry. Moving on to the Seniors Committee, a very vibrant committee that we have here in Colts Neck. We're up to 292 members in the Seniors Club. And the holiday luncheon will be held on December 18th at the Molly Pitcher Inn. Looking forward to that. The Sports Foundation, at their meeting on November 19th, elected a full slate of board members, many returning members, and some new members. The Sports Foundation has done and is doing a tremendous job when they, the number of children in our town that are involved in the sports program is incredible. In the high hundreds, football, flag football, soccer, basketball. I think basketball is coming up to be their number one rec program, and they're doing a terrific job. And in recognition of that, the Colts Neck PBA made a donation to the Sports Foundation at their most recent meeting. So we thank the Colts Neck PBA for that donation. The Board of Ed, I'll report briefly on the Board of Ed. At a recent meeting, the Board of Ed passed a parental Bill of Rights. You can go on their website to read that Bill of Rights. And then also on December 5th, as a lot of people know, there was a visit by the United States Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, at the Cedar Drive Middle School. This is part of a 50-state tour called History Rocks, which is an initiative described as, quote, excuse me, a key component of the America 250 Civics Education Coalition, a national partnership between the U.S. Department of Education, the America First Policy Institute, Turning Point USA, Hillsdale College, and more than 40 other national and state organizations. And the next public Board of Ed meeting is coming up on December 17. As I do when I give my reports, I like to tout our police department and congratulate all of us for living in one of the safest towns in New Jersey. I have the October statistics. We don't have the November statistics yet. They lag about a month. For the month of October, 0 burglaries in Colts Neck, 0 motor vehicle thefts, 0 robberies in Colts Neck. There were 2 assaults and 3 larcenies. But again, in a town of 10,000 people, to have these statistics, it's a testament not only to the men and women of the police department, but to all of us, right? The residents of this town who are vigilant and doing the right things. We're locking our our cars. We're taking our key fobs with us. We're lighting property, right? At night, it gets dark now. So light is very important, cameras. So congratulations to all of us for living, as I said, in one of the safest towns, and congratulations to the men and women of the police department. And we'll do an affordable housing wrap up later.
You can go now.
You want to do it now?
You
Or?
can jump in there.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit more. Sorry for talking so
I
much.
actually, before you go into that, Committeeman Bezzetta, I just want to make a statement regarding what you talked about with the Board of Education. I received a great number of calls and emails from folks concerned about what was going on. There was a lot of concern for what was taking place. Not that the Secretary of Education was visiting, but that the funding groups behind it. And so I responded to everyone that I received, including the media, with the same statement, which is the Board of Education is a completely separate governing body than this governing body. What takes place in the schools is governed by our Board of Education, which you all elected in the primary and November. So you have that. We all do have that right. There's completely separate governing body. So we do not have the ability to tell them what they can and can't do. I myself was given, I guess, 2 days notice when the press release went out. So quite honestly, I didn't really have much time to even do any due diligence or to even understand what some of the drama was at first. I happen to not have a middle schooler anymore. But quite honestly, as someone who's had 2 kids go through the Colts Neck school system from kindergarten through 8th grade, I personally have the full confidence in the superintendent, the teachers, and the staff that no matter what the political groups may be funding this, I had the confidence knowing as a parent that they would not be introducing something to our children that was political in nature. That's my personal belief. But as far as this governing body and being the mayor, it's not our role to tell them. They govern what is brought into the schools with the curriculum and stuff. So I just wanted to state that on the record. I responded to numerous emails, phone calls, and media organizations with that, and I still stand by that. And maybe some of you are here to even bring up your concerns with that, and I totally understand it. I really would encourage you to attend the Board of Education meetings, which Committeeman Bezzetta had mentioned when it is next. Email, write, ask questions, and find out what was discussed if you're interested in hearing about it. I heard positive things. We were not invited to attend, nor would I expect to be. We don't go to assemblies. But I heard it was a nice, patriotic, non-political assembly from those who went. So I'm sorry, continue on with your affordable housing.
Yeah, and just again, the Board of Ed meets on December 17 at 7 p.m. for those that are interested. As the liaison for affordable housing, along with Deputy Mayor Viola, I report monthly on where we are in the process of these state mandates that Colts Neck and every town in New Jersey must have a certain number of housing units set aside for affordable housing. As people that have been here this past year know, the township has sought to extend affordability controls over units at the Grand. Those units, the affordability controls expired in the middle of 2025. It is our goal, and we spent a great deal of time, even before I joined the committee, to extend those affordability controls for as long as we can, another 40 years. The benefit of doing that is that we satisfy a portion of the state mandate without any new development. I'm happy to report that as of today, we have received 46 credits against our outstanding obligation for rounds 3 and round 4 of 239. That's the state mandate of housing units that we have to build. We've satisfied 46 of them by extending controls at the Grand, and we have another week or a little bit more before our offer to the homeowners in the grant, to certain homeowners, to agree to extend affordability. That expires December 17th. So we're hoping to get even more, but at 46 credits, as we know, the crazy law in New Jersey says builders can build 5 units for every one affordable. By preserving 46 units, we have taken 230 units off the table. That's 230 units that will not be built as a result of extending affordability on units that already exist at the Grand that our neighbors live in. So I think that the program has been very successful. Hopefully, we'll have more join between now and December 17th. On December 16th, the day before, is a continuation of a mediation that Colts Neck is involved in as a result of round 4 obligation. There was a mediator, there is a retired judge that is trying to mediate objections filed by 3 developers who want to develop properties on Aubrey Road, Well Springs Farm, and on Dutch Lane. The process continues. We've spoken about that. The Navy has written a letter objecting to the Well Springs Farm development and other development. That mediation will continue on the 16th. As we have more to report on that, we will. One other note, a lot of us have heard of this federal lawsuit, really spearheaded by Mayor Gasali. He's a mayor in Montvale. A number of towns have joined that lawsuit. The plaintiffs, Mayor Gasali and these other towns, have now filed a motion for preliminary injunction to stop the state from doing certain mandates. That is in the briefing process. According to the court docket, that motion for a preliminary injunction and a motion by the state to dismiss the entire lawsuit is set to be heard on January 6, 2026. We'll see what happens. I'll report on it as I always do. It's a complicated set of facts. And as developments occur in that case, I'll report to the public and to the governing body. So with that, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. In the interest of affordable housing, Deputy Mayor, is there anything you'd like to add into that?
Yes, I would. I echo the comments of my colleague, Mr. Bezzetta. Our proposal, our offer is strictly voluntary to the owners. It's not mandatory. Our offer of $40,000 of a tax-free payment expires at close of business on the 17th. What happens on the 18th is the restrictions remain in place. The township's rights do not change. This is a voluntary program to try to incentivize the owners to re-up their unit for another round. I would like to point out that there is a Passaic County Township that is doing a similar offer to preserve their units for $10,000. And if a resident declines, they're going to try to sell the unit out from under them to another qualified owner. So ours is strictly voluntary. That sounds a little heavy-handed to us. That's not something that we're considering doing in any way, shape, or form. But again, the offer expires on the 17th. We have been working also on addressing the obligation beyond the preservation of these controls. We have to have everything in order before we can present it to the public and put it in our plan. If you put something in your plan that is not ready for prime time, you're still going to be stuck with it. So if you get too far ahead of your skis and you articulate through the housing element and fair share plan, through the program that manages affordable housing, and you put something in your plan that you're going to do, you're going to do it whether your plans come to fruition or not. You are held accountable to that. So we do have several other strategies that we are working. We hope to be able to articulate them to the public in the January timeframe, but we've been working behind the scenes for quite some time on these things, and we're getting close to fruition. Should I continue?
And I just wanted to clarify, those are 30-year deed restrictions, not 40.
Yeah.
And we are negotiating in mediation with 2 developers, and the third intervener was Fair Share Housing.
Yeah, there's
So-
2 developers, 3 projects. So we
I
got,
just wanted to clarify that.
tonight, we got literally, before leaving for this meeting, we got an email with an adjustment from one of the developer wants to develop Well Springs and Dutch Lane. Originally wanted to put 500 homes, including 20% set aside for affordable on Wellspring and 250 on Dutch. They reeled that back in. Now they're saying they want to do 263 on Wellspring and 395 on Dutch. So the number is down 90 units, but it's still, you can see why we continue to fight this overdevelopment. I'll just
And
continue.
Deputy Mayor, if you'd like to continue with your other updates, hopefully
I
some
will.
of which are more positive.
I'm gonna segue to Public Works. I'd like to start by reading a letter from a resident to whom it may concern. I would like to extend my sincere appreciation.
Please, anyone
to
that's talking in the audience, if you could restrain yourself, please stop speaking in the audience. It's not public comment. Thank you.
To whom it may concern, I'd like to extend my sincere appreciation to Colts Neck Township for the outstanding service performed on my property this morning. A tree had fallen from the township property into my backyard, and township's response was exceptional. 2 gentlemen were dispatched promptly, and their conduct exemplified professionalism at every step. They approached the work with a strong focus on safety, cleanliness, and respect for my property. The workmanship was excellent, and their courteous demeanor was greatly appreciated. I would like to personally thank Gus, Baxis, and Jeannie for their prompt attention to this matter and for ensuring the issue was addressed swiftly and effectively. Please extend my gratitude to the entire team for their exemplary service. Sincerely, et cetera, et cetera. Leaf pickup is in Zone 4. Then we go to the last round, which was by reservation. There were 22 callers who called after the cutoff to get a reservation for the 3rd pickup later this month that were denied. We've talked about this several times, referring to the brochure, that there was a firm cutoff for these numbers. If somebody called in a minute or 2 minutes later, the game was over. The clock had run out. So there were 22 calls for special pickup that were denied. Finance, as I will mention, the 2026 budget development is well underway. Last meeting, we discussed the appraisals. Everybody got their appraisal, right? Everybody's property went up, some a little, some a lot. The average was 8.29% for the township. So what happens is when the appraisal goes up, we're going to lower the rate so that it's equal with 2025. We are seeking other means of relief for the taxpayer. So what I can tell you is the commitment that I have made, and I have the support from my colleagues and the staff, is that worst case scenario, we will hold taxes flat, municipal line only. We do not control Board of Ed. We do not control Freehold Region. We do not control open space for the county. We do not control the library. We do not control the county tax. You control the open space tax in Colts Neck. We collect that, and we collect monies to run the township. So we will at least be able to hold the rate flat. We are getting very creative, and we're getting very aggressive, and there's a good plan coming together. We will have more to discuss on that in the first quarter. And then lastly, great holiday season, great holiday weekend. Very busy, but it was all fun activities. It's nice to be busy and be able to enjoy the activities rather than being busy and getting beat up all day by developers and lawyers. So it was a nice change of scenery. Also, I would like to congratulate the team that raises money for Semper Fi Santa. Semper Fi Santa is a 501c3 that was set up 10, 12 years ago to help collect monies and provide gift cards, funding, per the federal guidelines, to our men and women in service at Naval Weapons Station Earl and Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst. We had a dinner last week to raise money. It raised $20,000. So that helps out our folks, our neighbors south of Colts Neck here, our southern border, southeast border, all the way up to Tinton Falls at Naval Weapons Station Earl. So it was a very great evening. Congratulations to the leadership of Semper Fi. And yesterday I attended I'll be taking over the liaison role for the CMBA for the Business Association. Yesterday they held their installation of officers for 2026 and a holiday breakfast. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Rizzuto, why don't you share your updates.
All right, I spoke with Chief DeVito of the Police Department. It sounds like we're bringing on a new police officer, Connor McDivitt. I don't think I'm too premature. I think he accepted his offer of employment as a new police officer. We welcome him. He comes by way of the Long Branch Police Department. He was a Class 2 special over there. Comes highly recommended. The chief also wanted me to remind, especially that we have a good audience, that we have a child seat safety program where police officers are certified in the installation of these safety seats. Please avail yourself. Just call police department on the website, Facebook page. Get in contact with the police department if you need to install a child seat or just need some coaching on the proper installation. It's not as easy as it seems. Historic preservation. We had our Montrose School event this past weekend. It was very, very well attended. I don't know what the numbers were. We didn't tally them up yet. We'll do it by next meeting, but probably one of the best. It was a beautiful day. We had wreath making in the back. Santa Claus came in on a Harley Davidson. It was a great opportunity for people to take pictures. The food was fantastic, and everyone had a good time. We had some dedicated a beautiful plaque. The mayor dedicated a beautiful plaque in memory of Lillian Burry and her contributions to preserving that building and for her efforts really in historic preservation throughout the town for many, many years when it was very unpopular to fight to save a lot of these buildings. I can't say we always won in the old days, but we saved some and we lost some others. But Lillian's had a plaque from the township dedicated and it will be mounted in the school. Also, a portrait of Lillian was dedicated in the school too, which was very nice and I think a befitting tribute to her memory. Talked to President Martha today from the first aid squad. Nothing really new to report. The building's firing on all 8 cylinders. Finally, the move has been complete, but they're actually making some improvements beyond their moving back in requirements. And they're doing well. Recruitment is decent. If anybody is looking for a way to volunteer for the township, the first aid department and the fire department are always looking for volunteers. So come if it's a good way to give back a little bit to the town, if anybody's so inclined. And I know for the first aid, you could just be a driver, so you don't necessarily have to be an EMT.
And they do also have a cadet program for younger folk.
And a very active cadet program too.
Very.
And they're very active. They go on calls. They do a lot of stuff around town, a lot of community service. So if anyone's looking for some volunteer time, that would be a worthy cause. Long range planning did not meet, and that is really all I had. Just thank you for everyone who came out to the township tree lighting. That was a nice event as well. Breakfast with the Santa. I don't want to steal the fire department's thunder, but I was there as well. At company number 2, beautiful day. Same Santa, the Santa was also the same Santa. The Santa was at both events. So, but a good time was had. The looks on, we had the Grinch, we had Santa, and the looks on the kids' faces, and the parents were happy because the kids were happy. So,
And Grinch was much better behaved this year. The police did not have to come arrest him this year.
we had to change the
freaked out
script
my
a little bit,
grandson.
but yeah, the Grinch was there as well. So thank you for everyone who helped and volunteered for that.
Thank you. Committeewoman Fitzpatrick,
Thank you.
would you like to wow and amaze us with your township updates for this
I certainly would.
ye old last meeting of the year?
Yes, yes. It's so nice to see so many of you. I hope you all had a very happy Thanksgiving. I mean, we rolled kind of past that and now we're right into the Christmas season. But just wanted to mention, since there's so many new people here, each of us have 6 to 7 different committees, commissions, organizations that we are the liaison for. And I am the liaison for the Colts Neck Business Association and have been for a number of years, and I'm a member. So it's a great organization. It's our business people in town, and they get together to plan different events. And they also do a lot of charity work for the township also. They put on the fireworks, the polo, and give back to the first aid. So it's a great group, and I'm proud to be part of them. As Deputy Mayor mentioned, they had their installation in December. November was their election. Dino Nicoletta is president again. I think this is his 4th term, but we're happy to have him. So it's a lot of work, and he does such a great job. And December 3rd, last Wednesday, we had, it's an annual event that we do. We've been doing it for the past 15 years, but we work a program. It's a contest with the Colts Neck art students. And so businesses in town volunteer to have or want to have their windows painted, decorated for the holidays. So the Colts Neck High School students come out on a cold day in December, and they're out there 3 to 4 hours, and they paint the different windows, and they are so beautiful. And I hope you have a chance to look around at some of the businesses, because this year was exceptional. It was very hard to judge. Very clever, very artistic. For instance, the eatery, they one of the winners actually drew the Grinch with a big stack of pancakes, and I thought that was so appropriate, but it was so well done also. So they're very talented. And so, as I said, we have a contest, and Thursday, tomorrow morning, we'll have a breakfast with them, and so we give out money. That's their award. So they're very happy to do the contest because they're really happy about getting the award. So it's a great day for them too. As Frank mentioned, long range did not meet. I'm also the chair for the 250th celebration of our independence. And we met last Thursday, again, to review some of the events that are going on. I've mentioned it to you before, but February 22nd, which is George Washington's actual birthday, we're going to have a celebration, a dinner, sit-down dinner. We're going to have George Washington and Martha there. And we're also going to have Joshua Huddy. So, and we also are going to have music there. Colonial minstrels are going to come and play. So it's going to be a nice evening. Still have a few details to work out, especially the cost of the event. But you'll be hearing about that shortly, and I think it's going to be a great event. The next event I wanted to mention, again, run by the CMBA, we're going to have a barn tour. And Connie DeMeo, who's the vice president of the CMBA this year and the past, is going to be running that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we have about 5 barns, and we're going to do it during the day, take a bus and go to tour each of them. And each barn will have a special treat for everyone that attends there. We have a lot of other wonderful events planned for the year, but I'll just report on that as we go along. So and I also wanted to mention that K through 12 students, because I think I saw Phyllis Camera here. She is running that for us. So K through 12 students will have, again, an art contest, and we're going to put together a calendar. So each grade will have a winner, and we'll put their picture on the month in this calendar. So we're excited about that. They're going to start that. Calendar won't be for 2026, obviously, because we're just starting, but it'll be 2027. So we like to get a lot of different groups involved in this event, and so this is one way to get the students involved. Other than that, that's it. So I hope everybody has a happy holiday, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. Thank you.
Thank you. 2 updates just to add. Number 1, I just wanted to make note, Sue Fitzpatrick is also part of Farmland and Open Space Committee. And just based upon one of the reports I'll make is the planning board had a great presentation last night. And we adopted the Colts Neck Comprehensive Farmland Preservation Plan, which was done at planning board last night and adopted. And Tim Anfuso, who's our township planner, I did ask if he would be willing to come on in one of the next meetings in the first quarter to kind of talk about that. But one of the things that's, so he'll be coming to present on that. But one of the big wonderful facts, which is a big testament to the work that you've done, is that we've preserved over 315 acres just within the past 2 years alone in our town. So I just want to thank you for your stewardship in that.
Sure.
And we may get back to some other positive things about you, but thank you. And Committeeman Rizzuto, I think you forgot OEM,
I
which
did
is
forget
emergency
OEM.
management.
Even though I'm not allowed to speak about OEM, I do have some real progress to report on tonight. Our final report has finally been, after having been reviewed, shopped around, kicked back, sent up to the state, sent back to the county, sent to us, sent back to the county, sent back to the state. It is finished. It is a very interesting document. It's our 5-year plan. It's a complete inventory of our emergency resources, emergency response resources rather. And it hopefully, I don't think any reason why we couldn't probably put it on the website. It's a public document. It has a lot of good facts, a lot of good information in it. And if you're just generally interested in municipal government and your fire department, your first aid, fire, police, and police department, it is a great document to look at because it really just spells out what we're working with. So avail yourself. I'll make it public. We'll make it public on the website and enjoy.
Subject to a review for security reasons.
Yes, we'll redact any sensitive security, but it's generally pretty just a basic document. Yes, we will. We're very thank you, Director Badaracco, for his hard work, and the whole committee, Ray Burns at the police department, the chiefs of the respective units. Thank you for all your hard work. It took a long time. My fellow committeemen made fun of me because I kept announcing victory prematurely, saying that this had been done probably 5 times now. But I can honestly say tonight, it is complete. Thank you.
Thank you. And as far as my reports, this is also in the same vein as what we approved last night at the planning board. The SADC monitors over our farmland preservation. If we want to use money from this grant, we have to have a 10-year comprehensive farmland preservation plan. So the state actually approved our plan, and then our planning board adopted it last night. So that's pretty exciting. And as Tim Anfuso said last night, when the state says yes to something, you jump on that. So in my reports, I want to take a moment to thank the incredible teams that made our holiday events possible this year. Colby Marks and his recreation committee organized a wonderful tree lighting. He really, he helped out and attended a ton of other events. I saw him everywhere over the weekend, including Frosty's over at the school where the kids got to make cute crafts. Big thank you to Lou Bader and the Department of Public Works for their hard work preparing all the holiday decor. You guys have probably seen all over the campus here. It looks great. They did a great job with our little miniature tree. We obviously want to keep the budget low and not have to get berry pickers to put up the lights, so we made sure to get a reasonably sized tree because our old large tree died, unfortunately, due to disease. I just want to thank the first responders, the police department, first aid, fire department, fire police, who kept everyone safe. They do there's a lot of negotiations and navigation of everything. So I really appreciate that, keeping us safe. All the volunteers who helped with their energy and creativity to make things so special. Frank, you had mentioned the Historic Preservation Committee. They did an awesome job on the Old Country Christmas. Mary Pahira chairs that committee, and they always do such a fabulous job. The portrait of Lillian Burry was hung up high, and she was overlooking everything that was going on, and it was beautiful. We dedicated the schoolhouse to Lillian because she was really directly responsible for leading the charge to get that for $1 to the township. $1. So very appreciative of all that she did. And her granddaughter was there to accept that, and we'll be getting that up in the schoolhouse. But I also want to say thank you to Tom Sullivan, who did wreath making. I told Tom he came in with a great thing, which is wreath making, and it was a huge hit. So now he's going to be stuck doing that at every single one of our events. Just saying. I did already tell him that. But of course, I would be remiss, Frank, if I didn't mention that your ham was clearly the highlight, as it is every year. It really is actually very good. And a huge final thank you to the employees and volunteers who helped make 2025 a wonderful year here in Colts Neck. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve the township of Colts Neck as your mayor. It's been a year, a lot going on. At reorg, we'll have the opportunity to kind of look back and see where we were, where we are, where we're going. But I just want to say a big thank you. As far as the breakfast with Santa, they did a fabulous job. The kids had a wonderful event. Santa, we are very lucky to have the Santa live in our town. And it's very exciting. A lot of times kids see Santa driving around on his motorcycle on his Harley very safely. So we're very, very lucky. They did a great job. And it's a lot of work the fire department puts that on. They're an all volunteer squad and they did a great job. Colts Neck Prevention Alliance, update there. We spoke about the changes to the upcoming grant cycle. There's a lot of changes coming. Unfortunately, the state and federal government is putting a lot of handcuffs and restrictions on what can be used for their monies. So we looked at kind of more evidence-based programs that'll be coming along. Friends of the Library, the book sale was a huge success. I see Michelle Batista sitting in the audience. A huge thank you. There's a tremendous amount that goes into the putting on of this book sale. So I just want to thank you and the Friends of the Library. I don't know if anyone really knows how much that goes into it. It was on November 15th and 16th. The sales were great. I'm looking forward to the next one, which is already scheduled for May 2nd and May 3rd, 2026. And in my book sale tradition, those of you who are new to meetings, I've made it a tradition. A book sale is an opportunity to get mostly like brand new books. People donate every year. They donate beautiful books, mainly new. And I take the opportunity while volunteering at the book sale to find books for my fellow committee members as a gift. And I'm here just to let you know and encourage you to go to the book sale because you have the opportunity to find gifts for people for $1 and under. I know. You didn't know what you're getting into, right? You didn't know. So, with that being said, I'm going to start out. Stop cheating. Don't look. Don't worry. It's not going to take that long. Look at everyone like, oh, gosh. I should have worn comfortable clothes. Okay. My first book, America's Presidents. This is a phenomenal book. Looks brand new. There are all kinds of cool things in here. You take it out. There's things up from Thomas Jefferson, the Constitution, Declaration, phenomenal. This I am gifting to our Township Attorney, Megan, because every great leader needs a great attorney, and history proves it. Thank you for always keeping us on the right side of the Constitution. We respect your knowledge, your dedication, and your tremendous heart.
Thank you so much. I thought Frank was going to get it.
I'm not going to lie, that was a hard one. That was a really hard one to pick. I just love the book. Her family has been in Colts Neck since the Revolutionary War. So you know what? Darn straight you get that one. The next one is going to Frank. Getting America Right, the true conservative values our nation needs today. For anyone who knows Frank, very conservative. And I wrote, Dear Frank, in case you ever run out of conservative wisdom during a meeting, here's a little backup. I thought you might enjoy a book that believes in hard work, common sense, and maybe committee meetings. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
You see how exciting it is? You get to write little notes for people. Okay, my next one's going to Mike, Deputy Mayor Viola. In public, this is called Duty. It's called Duty. And there was a young child. It's D-U-T-Y. There was a young child who was laughing at the name next to me. I giggled along with them. Dear Mike, in public service, duty is more than just a word. Thank you for showing up with dedication, humor, and heart. May this book inspire you as much as you do.
Thank you.
I know, it's heavy. It's heavy. My next gift is going to Dan Bezzetta. It's called White House Burning. I know, I thought that was funny too. The Founding Fathers, Our National Debt, and Why It Matters to You. Dear Dan, may this book remind us that even when the numbers get scary, teamwork and good humor keep anything from burning down. Thank you for your dedication and partnership. And it's a lot of pressure giving a book to a published author. I'm just telling you right now. The next one is for our lovely township administrator and our municipal clerk, pretending to be Trina. This is called 20 Things You Didn't Know About Everything.
That's great. That's great.
Dear Kathleen, for the woman who always seems to know everything, but deserves a fun break to discover fun new things, especially in a town where we think we've seen everything. Thankful and grateful for all you do to keep Colts Neck running smoothly. And last, this is another good one. America. I think I could give this to all of us, but the person tonight who's most befitting would be Committeewoman Fitzpatrick. This is a gift to you. Thank you for your dedication, spirit, and heart for Colts Neck. Grateful to serve alongside you. Enjoy this beautiful celebration of our America. No, I'm not done. So for those of you who don't realize, this is our last meeting of 2025, hence why I said what an honor it was to serve all of you for this year. But it is also Sue Fitzpatrick's last meeting at the close here of 2025. We mark an important moment here in Colts Neck. I just had a few words to say, and I'm going to try and keep it pulled together and not cry. It's going to be a miracle if that happens. But I just wanted to say a few things, and then obviously I'll let anybody else say stuff. We recognize and honor you here tonight on the occasion of your final meeting after 6 years of dedicated service to our township. Sue, when you first stepped into this role, you brought with you a deep love for our community, an unwavering sense of responsibility, and a determination to make a meaningful, lasting impact. Over these 6 years, you have done exactly that. Whether it was navigating complex budgets, advocating for thoughtful planning, or simply being that steady, reliable voice at this dais, your work has strengthened Colts Neck in countless ways. You approached every issue, big or small, with a calm hand and a genuine desire to do what was right for our residents. You listened carefully. You always put the community first. That authenticity and commitment and that integrity have left an indelible mark here on this township. Beyond your public service, Sue, you have been a colleague, you've been a mentor and a friend. I have personally appreciated your guidance, your historic knowledge of the township, and your willingness to offer perspective when it was needed most. And your contributions have helped shape not only policy, but the collaborative spirit of this governing body, because much to what some people may think, we don't all get along all the time. That's why sometimes we're back there hitting, punching, yelling at each other. As you conclude your tenure, I want you to know that your legacy will continue far beyond tonight. The initiatives you championed, the standards you raised, the care you poured into this role will be felt by our residents for years to come. On behalf of the entire Township Committee, the grateful residents of Colts Neck, thank you for your service, your leadership, and your heart. We wish you the best in all chapters still ahead, and I hope you bring as much fulfillment as you have brought to this community. Can everybody just please, with a round of applause, recognize Sue for all her work? Yes, Frank, you can make a joke.
I'd just like to clarify that Tara was nice to sign all these thoughtful inscriptions, Mayor Tara Torsha Bus. So thank you for using your formal title, Mayor.
I just wanted to be formal.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. You should have put Dr. Mayor.
And Sue got a heart in her book.
Oh.
Sorry, the rest of you did not. I know people wanted to say stuff, so please.
To Committeewoman Fitzpatrick, Frank and I have been serving with you the longest. You joined in 2020, which started off pretty well with the building elevations. We had locked in this building that we sit in now, presented it to the public as well as financing when rates were low. and we went into affordable housing. You walked right into that one, unfortunately. And then COVID. And it's just been a wild ride ever since. But you've been very steady. You've been very calm. You've been extremely professional and caring. And it's been a pleasure serving with you. Wish you all the best. And I know that we're going to see you regularly, learning the 250th with Mary Pahira. Look forward to next year celebrating our independence under your leadership. So thank you.
Well, I'd just like to thank you for all the times that you decorated Town Hall. A lot of people don't know that. Where's your husband? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Little do people know that Sue and her whole family, she recruits, and whoever else she can get her hands on, tie all the flags and all the decorations, not only for the patriotic holidays, but also for national awareness days, for many, many different causes. The flags, most of those causes are known by a certain color, and all the flags and decorations you see are because of Sue. And I know that's a really weird thing to really get specific about, but that's a lot of work, and it just shows how much you care about the town. That you, on your own time and dime, usually, you're out there tying up corn stalks and flags and banners and doing that as a volunteer. And that's what it means. So thank you, Sue.
Sue, as the newest member of this body, it has been my pleasure and really my honor to serve with you this past year. I've learned a lot from you. You have been a steady hand. You have guided me and mentored me in my first year, and I'm truly appreciative of that. And the town ought to be appreciative of all you've done to preserve open space and farmland. The mayor read the number of acres that we've preserved over the last 2 years. That would not have happened, and I'll say that would not have happened without Sue Fitzpatrick's leadership and stewardship. So as we drive around Colts Neck and we see those farms that are preserved forever without any building that will ever occur on them, it's because of Sue. So, Sue, I thank you. I thank you for your friendship. I thank you for your guidance. I look forward to seeing you day in and day out. You have given a lot to this town. I thank your family for sharing you with us. You are a treasure. You are a professional. And again, it has been my honor to serve with you. Thank you.
And it wouldn't be a celebration without a presentation of a gift from those of us up here. It says, "To Sue Fitzpatrick, in gratitude for many years of unwavering dedication and service to Colts Neck Township, the bronze horse." Not one that you can ride like at the Circle on Crime Road.
Thanks, Jim Fitzpatrick, for helping me find that horse.
Well, this is most unexpected. Of course, I'm going to cry. That's an usual emotional thing, but it's been my honor and my privilege to work with the town, work with these wonderful people, our professionals, and I am going to miss you all, but I will be still busy. I mean, that's kind of my MO, but it has been great, and I do love this town. Been here almost 40 years, raised all our children here, and it means a lot. So I thank you all for that honor. Thank you.
One of the things that I actually meant to do, I apologize before, was read into the record a letter. Our state legislators, Senator Vin Gopal, Assemblywoman Margie Donlin, and Assemblywoman Peter Paul, who could not be here tonight because they're actually away, sent a message that I just wanted to read so that you heard. They said, "Dear Committeewoman Fitzpatrick, it's our distinct honor to congratulate you on completing your service as a member of the Colts Neck Township Committee and to thank you for all you have done for the residents of Colts Neck and Monmouth County. During your time on the committee, you have demonstrated your commitment to public service and to improving the lives of Colts Neck residents in pursuing your priorities of farmland and open space preservation, the improving the township forestry plan to protect us against forest fires and planning events for America's 250. You exemplify something we have always believed, that public service is an honor. Your service has been a testament to your leadership, dedication, and compassion for others. It is an honor to have elected municipal representatives as skilled and professional as you are serving towns in our legislative District 11. We hope you will remain involved in your community, and we look forward to working with you in the future." They gave their personal numbers out for you to call if you ever need anything. Please accept our compliments for your service and our best wishes for success in all your endeavors. That is going to be put into the state legislature. And because they were away, they couldn't give me the fancy one that goes in the binder and all that, but we will be getting that to you.
It's very
So,
kind. Thank you.
can we just go off the agenda for a minute? I have that power. And I'd like to open it up for public comment for anyone who would like to say something for Sue Fitzpatrick specifically.
Oh, stop it.
I didn't know if anyone wanted to come up and say anything. Okay, I was just checking. Thank you again, Sue. So now I want to open it up for the comments from the public for anything and everything. Procedure for public comment, especially for those of you who have not been here. We do welcome comments from members of the public. Please raise your hand if interested in being heard once recognized. Identify yourself clearly by stating your name and address for the record. Your comments will be limited to 4 minutes, and once you have finished speaking clearly or your 4 minutes has expired, the Township Committee will respond accordingly. Can I get a motion to open to public comment?
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Melinda.
Melinda Martin, 52 Glenwood Road. Back in 2001, when we moved to Colts Neck, I had an experience similar to the 97 Cedar Drive residents. I had a little antique car that I parked out on the street and left for a few days while we were moving in. It was ticketed, required a court appearance and a $500 fine. Like the 97 Cedar Drive resident, while moving in, I just hadn't gotten around to reading the township code. Truth of the matter is, probably most of the people in here haven't read the township code, even if they've been here 40 years. I would like to suggest that some of these incidents, although not all, could be prevented if at the time someone closes on a house, the realtor, their lawyer, or a letter from the town sent out a 2 or 3 page summary of some of the more important points in an ordinance. If you've moved from a neighboring town and you don't know you can't park on the street, or you don't know that you have to have go through the township and get a permit to do certain items. But there are a few basic things in a page or two that someone might read, whereas they aren't going to read the township code. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. That's actually an excellent idea. We'll investigate that. Sounds like a welcome packet from the township. I like it. Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Michelle.
Michelle Batista, 8 White Oak Drive. I want to thank Lou Bader and the Department of Public Works for making the move of the school desk and chairs out of the schoolhouse, sprucing up the yard, getting lights on the Christmas tree, delivery of the traffic cones, and the repairs of the missing fence tops for our annual country Christmas, which was a resounding success. A special thanks to Captain Ray Chabelle of the Colts Neck Fire Police and his members for making it safe to attend our event despite the chill in the air. Thanks to the Historical Preservation Committee Chair Mary Pahira for always bringing every last-minute thing we need to the schoolhouse, and of course, the full committee for donating their time for cleaning, decorating, hosting with food and drink, and cleaning up after the event. A big shout out to Tom Sullivan of Little Arlene Tree Farm for setting up shop with the free wreath making this year, which was an astounding success. I hear Clyde the donkey might make a little pit stop next year. Thanks to the Colts Neck Township Committee for supporting this annual event and for dedicating the Montrose Schoolhouse in memory of the Honorable Lillian G. Burry, who made Colts Neck the jewel of Monmouth County. For Sue, I end with a Lillian quote from the story former Colts Neck resident Laura Kolnowski wrote for the Two River Times on March 13, 2023, about Lillian exiting politics. I've always held myself to the highest ethical standards, living by the principle espoused by Thomas Jefferson. Quote, when a man assumes a public trust, he should consider himself as public property, close quote, Burry said. The deeds we do and the things we create endure beyond our hour upon the stage. A well-lived public life signifies faith in the great continuum of civic duty and a deep belief in the importance of liberty and democracy. She would say that to you, Sue. A saying this town needs to hear, do as I say, not as I do. I speak from my heart with the hope the anonymous pessimists fade away in 2026, as their rhetoric is not what we want our Colts Neck youth to hear or witness. I end on a high note. Here's to our country's upcoming 250th anniversary that Lillian, our Colts Neck historian, would have been front and center at every Colts Neck event.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. This actually brings up the one book I forgot, which kind of leading into your tutelage is, it's called We All Live Here. Yes. It was actually, I wrote it to the residents of Colts Neck. And it's kind of in the same vein as what you were saying, which is, may this book serve as a reminder of the shared community, mutual respect, and collective responsibility that make our township such a wonderfully remarkable place to call home. Again, I couldn't agree with you more. Moving into the future, moving into 2026, positive, positive. I like it. Anyone else from the public? I see a hand in the back.
Hi, Michael Narcissus, 27 Raven Road. I think the majority of why pretty much everyone's here is to figure out more about what's happening at Dutch Lane, and just understanding, you know, we're the town. I know you guys are trying the best you can with maintaining what Colts Neck is and the town that me and my friend grew up in, go fishing and hiking in. So if you could just expand on that. I know you touched on it a little bit there, Michael, but expand on just what's happening.
Thank you for the question. There's a lot happening. As mentioned earlier, there are 3 development applications from 3 desires to develop in Colts Neck, overdevelop Colts Neck. I'll speak for myself, but I know my colleagues are in sync. We're not necessarily against affordable housing. We're against the mandates and the way that overdevelopment is the result of affordable housing, which to me is the single greatest driver of unaffordability in New Jersey, is affordable housing. All of the implications, schools, roads, staff, equipment, utilities, infrastructure, it's all borne by all of us. Put the housing in. If you don't put the housing in, we'll take your immunity away. Developers will do whatever they want in your town to meet your obligation. So we will continue to fight overdevelopment in Colts Neck. As I'd mentioned, it's premature. We can't discuss our additional strategies that we're working on to help narrow that obligation. But hopefully in the January, early in the first quarter timeframe, we will do so. But as I'd mentioned, Wellspring, the developer's active acquisitions out of North Jersey, they originally wanted to put 500 homes on Wellspring, including 2 5-story buildings, which is right on the border of the base. That is the largest weapons depot in the entire eastern seaboard, from the Gulf of Maine to the Gulf of America, all the way around Florida, all the way around. There is no base like it on the eastern side of the United States other than Naval Weapons Station Earl. All the activity you see going on around the world is provided munitions by Naval Weapons Station Earl. Wellspring is 90% of that property is in the 3,000-foot setback. That setback is stay out, no high density. Why? Two reasons. Number one, well, three reasons. Number one, public safety. If there's an accident on the base, if you're in that 3,000-foot setback, you're going to be affected. If we recall back in October, there was a munitions explosion at a plant in Tennessee. That was one building, about twice the size of this building, and the debris field was a half a square mile. That's one small building. Imagine 15 million pounds on the base. So public safety. National security, 5-story buildings. What are people going to be on the roof and telescopes monitoring troop rail traffic and what times of night the trucks are coming in and stuff like that? National security. And then lastly is resiliency and sustainability for the base. They cannot, after Sandy, the pier was 12 feet underwater during Sandy. The pier where the rail lines go out to the pier to move the munitions to the vessels to go out to deep sea was 12 feet underwater. As a result of that, there was a joint land use study in 2016 between the Department of Defense and Monmouth County Planning Board, and they came up with these zones and these encroachments. We've been enforcing them ever since they were put into place. We're really under the gun. We're pulling out every stop we can to prevent that. There's also 68 Aubrey Road, which is about 50% in the 3,000-foot setback. They want to put 202 houses there. So the developer at Wellspring, Active Acquisitions, was at 500. Today we found out they're going down to 263. Well, that's an improvement, but they want to put more on Dutch Lane. They want to go from 250 to 395. So that's a deed restricted property. We will enforce the deed restriction. But affordable housing law in New Jersey seems to trump all law, including national security and public safety. We will continue to fight. We will continue to provide updates at every opportunity. Every time we're on this dais, we're going to tell you where we're at. Thank you.
And just to clarify, because you really came up and asked a pretty pointed question, what is going on Crine and Boundary? As of this point, there was a developer who showed interest in that property, has a contract to purchase, but does not own it and wants to develop it. This is not new to our municipality. This is not new. We have former mayor, JP Bartolomeo in the back, who's fought the good fight for many years with people coming in. This is a great town. Of course, people want to come here. So as long as there's open space, there's going to be developers who are going to want to come in and develop our town. It is all of our jobs to make sure, through serving as elected officials, serving on boards, commissions, committees, talking to your elected officials, talking to each other, and getting more information about how we can best implement the zoning and planning rules and abide by the law to avoid losing our immunity, to do the best we can to strategize where these things fit best. Is it really the corner of Boundary and Crine Road where the number of accidents at that county intersection is outrageous? I grew up right around there. I was hit by a car on my bike, and that was like 80 million years ago. So even now, it's a tough intersection. Unfortunately, affordable housing does not take into account, and again, state rules, it doesn't take into account the traffic issue. It doesn't take into account the schools, the impact on the schools, infrastructure, first responders. It doesn't, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that we can't still enforce our existing deed restrictions, all of that. So again, I know everybody heard about this. The big difference is affordable housing. We're in another round of affordable housing. This information is a little bit more public and out there because the way the legislation allows us to speak on it is different. It used to be everything was always tied up in litigation. Nobody could speak on anything. Well, now we're able to be more transparent about things. Can't give away the secrets, but we can be more transparent, and we're trying to be as open as possible so people are aware and know that this stuff is happening. Doesn't mean we're giving into it. It's just we're trying to do smarter planning here. So we all live here, right? We all live here. We all pay taxes. We all got our assessments. We feel exactly the same things that you do as well. And I know we're all happy to speak also after meetings and off hours about these topics as well. So I saw a hand up in the back. We'll go there and then we'll go to you, Dan.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Hi, I'm Nicole Arcadi. How are you today? I have a very quick question. Hopefully it's a quick one. What is when you have a deed restricted property, right? There's already been established that these are the parameters, any future purchases, any future building.
Can you just move a little closer to the mic?
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I want everyone to hear
I'm
you.
so bad with that microphone. So when you have that already been established and it's a contract, basically becomes part of the deed. It's now a contract between, it's been purchased already by the government. How is it that a single person, without being offered out to public, because it's a state issue now, correct? If it's a state issue, why wouldn't it be put out to bid, like say like a federal government type of bid? Why is one developer able, or a single person able to go in and purchase that property and and it doesn't go up for everybody? And why can we allow more than one development by one builder? Like, in other words, if one builder has multiple properties and they're trying to kind of, they're always going to play that. Why is it that it's allowed? How is that able to happen? Do we know?
And I'm sorry, can I just, Nicole, can I get your last name?
Sure, Arcadi. Arcate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, in a word, state law, right? The property on Dutch Lane is private property owned by, I think, an LLC, put the property up for sale, and a developer came in and apparently is in contract to purchase that land. We couldn't stop it, right? No government can stop a private sale from happening. This developer now wants to build, I don't know, 200, 300, that number keeps fluctuating, homes on that property. That we can seek to stop, because the property is deed restricted. When Mockingbird Lane and the development on Mockingbird was created in 2001, subdivided from that property, the agreement at the time was that that farm, that 40-acre farm, would remain a farm. What's the use of having a deed restriction if it can't be enforced? That's our position. Now, I'm sure if the developer were here, he'd come up with an argument that says we don't care about the deed restriction. Well, that's his argument. We have our argument. So we're going to defend it. We're going to do everything we can to prevent 500 units from being built on that property.
In an area that is deed restricted and zoned for 10-acre zoning. It doesn't mean that we're going to prevent any development in our town. Because I think all of us, you walk the fine line between development, overdevelopment, right? It's a. It's basically because of a process of the affordable housing process and how it works, giving the opportunity for builders to help municipalities satisfy this affordable housing need. They're doing us a favor. Okay, so this is in what it is. They're helping the town. We have not been able to fully achieve our affordable housing numbers as it stands this day and time. Okay, we have not. We've been fighting affordable housing since 1974, I believe, 1973. We haven't yet been able to achieve that number. So developers come along and say, don't worry, I got you. I can help you build. But somewhere in the law, it has given developers the opportunity to say, in order for them to profit, we're going to let them build for every one affordable unit. We're going to let them build 4 market rate units, because that's in our world what we think of as seeing it making profitable for them to help you satisfy your number. Okay. And that's really what it is. So it doesn't mean that they're even if they purchase the property, it doesn't mean they're automatically rezoned for it. It is a very long process. Kushner owned that property on School Road East and 537 for over 30 years. They owned that property. They took advantage of affordable housing laws and the changes and the nuances to build what many have termed a monstrosity over there, that there's not one person. Well, actually, I know several people that have told me they're interested in moving there, but I don't know one person who thought that that was an appropriate development to go in our town. However, that was years in the making. The town is not sitting by idle and allowing things to just kind of play out and see what happens. So the town is being very active and proactive in what we're doing. So with that being said, we have all here had a tremendous number of conversations with people. We welcome your ideas. We keep 4 minutes because, again, many people are already like, I gotta go. It gets late, so it gets a little hairy, but let's sit down. You want to have a conversation? Many of us have. Did anyone else want to chime in?
Real quickly, what happens, Mrs. Arcani, is that a developer will approach a property owner with a contingency. I will purchase your property contingent on me getting the zoning I need to build the numbers I need to pay you what we agreed to pay. And what they do is they pay a monthly lease. So what happens if they don't get the zoning, the contract expires and it goes back into where it is.
Which has happened time and time again in this township over the years. It does happen all the time. So
And it's called intervenor status. So once a contractor comes in and says they're going to help us with our obligation, they get a special legal status, which aligns all the state law, a robust body of legal precedent that allows them to do this. It shocks the logic and conscience of most people that this is allowed to happen. And a lot of people get angry. They hear, like, how is this allowed? So I say this at every meeting. So the public thinks one or two things, right? They either think we missed something, right? You just didn't look into this option. Trust me, we have the best legal team in the state working on this. We've looked at every option and we're still continuously up, and that's why we're late tonight. We're continuing to look at all options, or that we're corrupt, right? Those are the two options. Either you're in bed with the developer, or you're incompetent. Those are your two choices, right? That's what most people get riled up at. I can assure you, none of us is in bed with any of these developers, right? Are there towns like that? Probably. This one ain't one of them. Two, we have, and we do welcome though, but we get a lot of the meetings. Well, you didn't look into this and you didn't look into that. The environmental aspect, this aspect, that aspect, 100% affordable. This is the option you missed. Trust me, we're out there working. We're working every minute of the day. We have a very good team on this. Sometimes you got to duck and sometimes you got to punch. We're managing our obligation. Comparative, is there good news to give you? No, I'm probably making you more depressed, but we're doing a lot better than our neighboring towns. That I can tell you. And there are a lot of towns who fought, and it would be much easier for me to get up here, especially as a conservative, and say, we're going to fight, and they're going to pry it out of our dead hands. But the
kind
problem,
of like when I told you I wanted to live stream meetings
so yeah, I didn't want to do that either.
over my dead body.
Yeah,
Never.
no, we're not lying.
But by the
Why
way,
spend the money, right?
By the way, we do live stream our meetings, and last meeting, we had a very long, informative discussion. Committeeman Rizzuto is one of our longest serving members, gave a lot of good information as well. So I'd also encourage you guys, go back on YouTube. You can watch them and get some more information.
So what, depending on where you're at, educating yourself on this process, the more incredulous you'll become. You'll say, there's no way that this is what the law says. Well, I can assure you it is what the law says, and that's the way New Jersey's set up out of Trenton. So wherever you're at in this thing, educate yourself. The more you come to us and don't listen to the rumors and this, and I heard that, and I going on the internet. If you come and ask the questions, that's why it's great that everyone's here tonight, and bring your neighbors next time. Bring everyone. Keep coming to the meetings, because this is where the real information is. And I think you'll be satisfied as much as you can be satisfied with a situation like this, so.
Dan, we're going to go to you and then I'll come over there.
I'm sorry, I have a herniated disc.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm going to start at the end of what I wanted to say. The 40-acre parcel that you're speaking of was put up for sale a couple of years ago, $1.9 million. I remember driving by that parcel because we used Dutch Road, we used Cedar Drive, and I said to my wife, and this is, when a couple of years ago, like 3-4 years ago, why doesn't the township buy that parcel? Because it would make a beautiful park, soccer, whatnot, and nothing happened. And then you're here about, you're talking about open space and, why a 40-acre parcel that goes up for sale for $1.9 million, that's a developer's dream. Why wasn't that looked at back then? I'm not quarterbacking. The other thing is, what's going on with Aubrey Road? Aubrey Road maybe has water problems, but you know what? I used to have a house down in Beach Haven that I sold after Sandy, that I put a new dock in and everything. They have water problems. They had to raise all the houses. I mean, all you're going to do over there is put a slab, make 30 units. Why don't the township? Why are we always on the offensive? I mean, why are we playing defense? Always defense. Okay, and then what about the 12 acres on 537 that was up for sale? Why didn't the township look at that and put it out? You know what? You could have had like 24 quarter-acre, 2-bedroom senior housing over there for affordable housing, because a lot of older people would love to stay in their towns, but the houses are too big. Like my house, there's three people in it now. I had 5 kids. The other thing is, going back to 5 kids, I want to know why my street, I live on 126 Montrose Road, why my street is 45 miles an hour and then 40 miles an hour, and Bucks Mill Road is 35 miles an hour in the area of, where there's not very much construction or residential, and then it goes down to 25 miles per hour where there's the residential units, and there's no left turn, lane off of 537. You said was coming in the future, but I don't see anything like that. I just want the same consideration for Montrose, because my dogs were hit. I know it's my fault because they weren't on a leash, but the person there's 2 fatalities that were in front of the Lovings property. And I mean, I called up do I need to purchase an enforcement monitor and give you the statistics and put it just in front of my drive? Because they're about $3,000 to $5,000. And if I have to, I will do that. The other thing is, basically, why is it, we're a scenic road? Why you don't go 50 miles down a scenic drive? You're supposed to be looking at the scenery, the beauty of the street. And the last thing is, you had such success with that circle on Hewlett Road. Why don't you put that circle on Boundary, Dutch, and Cedar? I mean, it makes perfect sense. So I would like questions answers to some of those questions. I'm sorry, I'm in a lot of pain.
Dan, as someone who has torn discs and herniated discs, I feel your pain.
Surgery in January, but I can't take any medication during the day because then you sleep. But
I totally understand.
I
And
would
listen,
like answers to these questions.
absolutely. So we'll do the best we can. You also
1.9 million, 40 acres. I mean, a developer's dream. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that.
Okay, Dan, can I start answering? And listen, you have my contact.
I honestly, I gotta
If you
leave
can't,
because
if
I'm
you
in too
can't
much
stay, I'm
pain
gonna,
right now.
I'm gonna answer some of these, and
Okay, you can
it's gonna be
answer to them,
recorded.
and then I
You
can
got
look
it.
at the answers, but I need to leave.
I
My
totally
wife
understand.
wants to talk First, Elaine, go
Uh,
ahead. You have.
You come on up. You can finish the conversations.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity.
Elaine, I'm sorry, can you also give your address? I don't know
Elaine
if-
Krasankis,
you.
126 Montrose Road. So My perspective on this, you highlighted the word perspective. My perspective on this is look at this area from the perspective of someone who lives on Montrose Road, someone who lives on Mockingbird Lane, somebody who lives in the area of Dutch Crine there, somebody who lives in Marlborough. So my question is, has anybody talked to Marlborough Township? Does Marlborough know anything about what's going on at the intersection and the perspective of having 200, 300 housing units there? Right by where Lillian Berry, we celebrate, who wanted to maintain the beauty in open space. Seems kind of ironic, unfortunately. I also got a little off here, I apologize. Wanted to ask about the on Boundary, not Boundary Road, on I can't even remember the name of the road. Not Aubrey. No.
Cedar?
No. Bucks Mill, sorry. On Bucks Mill. If you go down 537, if you're heading eastbound on 537, as my husband had stated, there are left-hand turn lanes for you to turn left if you're heading eastbound. It seems that the only areas where there isn't a turn lane happens to be Bucks Mill. It's a beautiful road. I would like it to stay the way it is, but I don't understand why you have turn lanes going into areas where there is no outlet. There are two roads along 537 where there's no outlet or it's a cul-de-sac. So it's hard for me to understand why Bucks Mill would not have been a higher priority for that left-hand turn lane. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. So just to clarify, so Dutch Lane, Crine, a lot of the roads that you spoke of are actually all county roads. So we do not have jurisdiction over that. It doesn't mean we don't have say and we don't have interactions with our county folk and have conversations. I was just on the phone with the mayor of Marlborough today about that very issue of housing. Okay, so yes, we do speak with these, and you can come back and listen. I totally understand. I totally get it. You know, we do, just for people listening here, we work closely with the county, and that's how we know this is next on their list to do. They are doing a turn lane from 537 onto Bucks Mill Road, just like they did Montrose. Why'd they pick Montrose first? They picked Montrose first because there's a monstrosity going on closer to that one, and it was more imperative that it was done. So that was the reasoning behind that. Boundary and Crine, I'm sorry, yes, that's, the county did that circle, which apparently is a lovely circle and I think works very well. Would they consider doing a circle at Boundary, Cedar, and Dutch Lane? I think they've considered it. And we're always in conversations with them about how it would best work along with Marlborough. Okay, so Jonathan Hornick, who's the mayor in Marlborough, is also part of those discussions. When people come here and they say, why didn't the town look at this? Why didn't the town do that? We have groups, committees, farmland preservation that have identified properties in this town. They're constantly doing it for preservation purposes and for purchase purposes. Very actively work to do this. Some people don't want to preserve their land because it's not maybe as valuable to them as developing it. But we absolutely try. And I can tell you the town does try and scoop up some of these properties. But I also want everyone to remember that even if the town went ahead and spent hundreds of millions of dollars and purchased up every piece of property in this, and none of us owned any property, the town owned it all. You know what's going to happen? We take it, we eminent domain it, let's say that, or we just own it. The state's going to come along and say, Township, you have you have all these areas to develop. You still are required to fulfill your obligation. So that's the problem. just because we own it doesn't mean it's not going to be developed. So I just want to make that very clear. We could go around and bond for all this money to buy land. That's not going to eliminate the issue. The township is not just reactive. Okay, we are not just reactive. Maybe previous governing body members, again, I didn't pay as much attention. I'm not going to lie, 20, 30 years ago. Maybe they were not as active, but I can speak of the governing bodies over the past 15 years that I've been involved are very proactive in trying to develop plans to best manage this affordable housing, which then the law goes ahead and changes, and then you have to scramble to do it again. So Frank,
No,
you wanted to jump in there.
That's a good example of someone you must have missed something, right? You must have missed it. You haven't been actively out going and knocking on people's doors. That's a perfect example of where people are at.
We
I
do
understand that.
go and knock on people's doors.
So we, through many different avenues, how much did we add to 5 Points? I don't know how many acres did we pick up there?
29.
We picked up 29 acres at 5 Points. We were picking up as much property as the tax burden will bear. Yes, and we look at every opportunity to pick up more land. But as the mayor said, it has to be purchased through certain programs so it can be preserved and not developed. You just can't purchase it. Second thing, I do believe the police department is looking into the speed situation on Montrose. I live on Bucks
Yeah,
Mill.
they are in the midst of doing a traffic study on Montrose to look at, and that's how Bucks Mill, I'm sorry to jump in and
Yeah,
interrupt you. That's how Bucks Mill speed limit did change. They did a traffic study there and they did change it. So there's people who are a lot smarter than I am, maybe not you, but
Right.
engineers who look at all of this stuff. So
And I hope-
we do not govern speed limits and all of that.
So I'm just hoping that the gentleman's still listening or at home and replays it.
Dan will listen.
Dan will listen.
Dan will listen.
But the police department is actively doing a traffic study on Montrose. They have average speeds. I've read the reports. I don't know if they're preliminary, so I don't want to talk about them yet. But they are actively doing it. I talked to Chief DeVito today. We're very cognizant of speed. If an unsafe traffic condition exists, we will respond in real time. There's several roads where there was unsafe conditions we've addressed very recently last summer. We had to take some action up on over by Preserve there. And we had to change the parking and what was allowed there. But we will respond as needed, and the police department is looking into it.
Can I add something back to farmland?
Yes.
We do actually have items that are identified as that we would like to preserve them. The only problem is people came and brought all these beautiful farms, and you think they're going to stay that way, and we talked to them about it, but they're not interested in that. They're interested in the big dollar at the end. And so these developers are willing to come in and offer $40 million for something that may only be worth 8 or 10, but they want it because that's the money and that's what they can make by putting up 300 homes. So.
Right. And for those of you who don't understand how farmland preservation works, we incentivize the person to deed restrict the property, try to soften the blow because, a property is worth what you could divide it up and sell it to the developer for. So now if I can't develop it into all these different parcels, I have to sell it as a farm, so it's less money. So we give the taxpayer has a base of funds that goes towards giving them that money up front to put that into a deed restriction forever. It is an
But
effective
they can turn
program.
around and
We Monmouth County just approved the open space referendum. So that's the one tax you do actually want to see go up because I get a lot of questions. What can I do? I want to volunteer. I want to help fight this. I want to help the town. One of the things is don't view that as a tax. View that as something that should be going up because that allows us more money to go after these parcels of property and preserve them.
If I might add some financing background too. Our township appraisal right now with the appraisals from last month is approximately, this is not an exact number, is approximately $5 billion. That is the entire value of every property in Colts Neck, approximately $5 billion. Your debt service cannot exceed 3.5%, correct, Counselor? 3.5%?
Yes, 3.5%.
So that's $175 million in debt service. This year, we had a $20.8 million budget. $600,000 of it was in open space, so we had a $20.2 million budget. $900,000 was a grant from the county to preserve the property, the 29 acres at Maida. We're now down to 19 and some change. If we were to purchase a $10 million piece of property, we have to put down 5% when we bond. 5% of 10 million is $500,000. We have $2 million roughly per year of discretionary expenses that we run the town on. Everything else is pretty much required spending, mandatory spending, pensions, benefits, insurance, et cetera, salaries, et cetera, et cetera. We'd have to take $500,000 from the $2 million. What are we going to, if to keep, we all like low taxes, right? We all want low taxes. What are we going to give up for that $500,000? Plus, you then have to finance the debt service for the $10 million you just borrowed. That goes back into your budget for your debt service. Debt service is our largest expense. This year was approximately 3.4 million. Next year it'll be about 2.7, 2.8. It was artificially high this year because when we took in the grant from the county, we were told it had to be put against debt service, so that increased our debt service for a year. So the point is that we do not have the financial ability to either purchase all of these properties. If we were to purchase them and leave them in the town inventory, they then are exposed by the court to say, you've got 100 acres of open land that you own, Colts Neck. Why don't you put housing on that? So that's why you go through farmland and open space, because you get other entities to invest, such as Monmouth County, such as the U.S. Navy. Every year in the Department of Defense, National Defense Appropriations Act, they put money in for the Navy to contribute towards preservation. So is the Navy interested in preserving Wellspring? Yes. Is the Navy interested in preserving 68 Aubrey, Squillare? Yes. We actually were in dialogue with Squillare Farm, and then in February, they ghosted us. They just went silent. Well, they were working a deal with the developer. So there's a lot of, it's three-dimensional chess. There's many different inputs that lead to an equal sign and what's on the other side of the equal sign. And you got to be careful what you ask for. We can buy up a lot of property. We're going to have to raise taxes like crazy. You got to pay the debt service. You got to pay the bonds. Then we have to get others to sign, to invest, to protect the properties with deed restrictions. So the Maida property that we purchased, we got $881,000. Is that the grant for Green Acres?
Yeah.
Yes. So we put in the consent agenda today was an application for a grant from Green Acres to invest over $1 million in the Maida property. So on a 2.3, roughly 2.35.
Yeah, it's Maida and the surplus of DeAngelis.
And part of DeAngelis. So roughly $2.5 million of acquisitions. We're close to closing $1.9 million in outside financing between the county and Green Acres. What happens? That's in perpetuity. Those deed restrictions are there in perpetuity. It will not be developed. It could be used for future recreation use. So you got to be, there's many, many different inputs. We are always looking with Farmland and Open Space Committee that was under the liaison leadership of Committeewoman Fitzpatrick. We identify properties, they target the properties, they ring doorbells, they write letters, they start dialogue. But like our attempt to extend the affordability controls on the owner-occupied units at the Grand, it's strictly voluntary. One last topic. 2 years ago in 2023, when Committeewoman Fitzpatrick was mayor, we preserved the Overbrook Farm, 240 acres for roughly $8 million. The county and the Navy picked up most of the bill. We picked up the balance. So the owner of the property got $8 million. Then they sold it for $8 million. But it has to stay as a farm. It's preserved as a farm in perpetuity. So what happened? You had a willing property owner, made $16 million on their sale. They didn't make $30 million, but they made $16 million. So we will continue to preserve as much as we possibly can preserve. We're very strategic about it from a finance perspective, as well as location perspective and future use perspective. We are thinking, have we thought of everything? I can't, we'd be arrogant to say, yes, we have. That's where you come in. We need your input. We need your constructive comments. We need you to contribute. We need you to watch on YouTube if you're not here, and then reach out and call us and say, have you thought about this or have you thought about that? It's very easy to come here and sit here on the dais and be confronted and attacked. It goes with the territory, granted. but we get a lot more when we collaborate and work with the public. So we ask that you help us solve problems, help us provide solutions by contributing, coming in here, communicating, giving us your ideas. We'll look at every opportunity. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And anyone is able to purchase these properties yourselves, that would be great. And then you can preserve it and make money off of it.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Niti Trika. We have a property at 77 Montrose. I just had a quick question. With the state requiring this affordable housing, when affordable housing comes in, does the state reimburse for anything like school impact, firefighters, police support? And I just find that, I mean, where's the argument for this being an undue burden? Because who is paying for that? How do you manage a huge population? I'm wondering what's going to happen with the huge development across the street from the school. What's going to happen there? I mean, what are we just supposed to just now fund more police officers, fund more firefighters? I mean, that's a huge deal. So I don't understand the expectation without some kind of plan from the state to say how they're going to. They can't just assume, oh, this is a rich town, so you guys can pay for it. That's just, I don't understand that
Yes, they
argument. So I'm wondering about that. And I'm also wondering if the town can somehow take this into their own hands by designating an area, saying, okay, well, if you want to do affordable housing, here's a safe place to do it. And here's the plan. Who can come and fulfill that plan? So those are my two thoughts. Thank you so much.
Those are great questions. Committeeman Rizzuto's dying to jump in.
Oh,
there.
no. I mean, it's an, yes, you're saying it's an unfunded mandate, and you're absolutely right, it is. And the simple answer is they don't care.
Taxpayers bear the entire burden.
The state of New Jersey doesn't care. It's an unfunded
But we
mandate.
do also designate areas for
Yes.
And we'll probably let Mike-
affordable housing, but they don't want to build there. So
Well-
they'd rather take a farm.
So in the business district, part of our round 3 plan, round 3 expired on June 30th, 2025. We now go into another 10-year period, round 4, July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2035. July 1st, 2035, round 5 begins. You get the point that this doesn't stop, okay? It just keeps happening. They do not care about any implication. This year, we added 2 police officers, and Committeeman Rizzuto mentioned the second officer. We have an officer that's coming through the academy this month, imminently, ready to graduate. So we did review with all departments in great detail what the implications of the housing would present. And so far, we've added 2 police officers, including the capital equipment. That's why there were large budget items in this year. As far as the tax revenue that will be received, there's no pilot for the Kushner development. They will pay ad valorem real estate taxes. They will pay assessed value real estate taxes. When it's fully occupied, roughly 5 or 6 quarters from now, they do plan to start occupancy in the second quarter of phase 1 will be in second quarter, then phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. By the time they're fully occupied, the implications that we have incurred by hiring 2 additional police officers and funding their capital equipment will be paid for by the ad valorem taxes we collect from Kushner. Affordable housing is supposed to go in townships that have the infrastructure, they have the utilities, they have public water and public sewer, they have transportation, they have either a train station, they have bus depots, ferry locations, et cetera. They have existing ratables. We don't have ratables. We don't have the jobs. These people kind of come and live here. That's fine. That's wonderful. Welcome to Colts Neck. But there's not a lot of great employment opportunities here. We're a very small town. 99% of our taxation is collected from us. It's paid by us. It's not paid by Best Buy or Target or Uncle Giuseppe's. There's no large employers in town. They're supposed to be where transit hubs. That's where these locations are supposed to go. And we've heard from our governor-elect that that's what she wants to do, but that's not what we're seeing. Your arguments are very valid. They're very real. They're very painful. But you got to talk to the legislature, because this is legislation that is adopted through the Assembly and the Senate and signed by the governor and driven down to all the municipalities. We are at the bottom of the hill. Committeeman. Yeah, so briefly, in round 3, one of the ways that we met our obligation or put land in play, we have to present a reasonable opportunity through our zoning. We control zoning. We have to put a reasonable opportunity through zoning that the affordable housing will be delivered. We did so in Area 1. Area 1 is south of Huddy's and south of the Orchard Center on each side, not 100% each side, but we put enough property in there in what's called an overlay, so it allows for mixed-use development. So I can develop a property and I can put a commercial entity on the bottom and I can put a housing unit on top. That's been in place for 5 years. Nobody wants to develop there. They want to develop on the horse farms. They want to develop on the real beautiful side of town. Why? Because it's easier for them to sell their product. So all very good questions. Please contact our legislators and express your concerns. Thank you.
And elections have consequences.
Thank you.
Yes. Anthony Orsino, 15 Joshua Hardy Drive. I wanted to speak before, but people brought the questions that we've heard many times. We've been at a seminar and indoctrination slides and all that about affordable housing. How do we do it? How we don't do it? What's it? How do we roll with the punch? What do we? Okay, all of those things. Honestly, I don't know who really understands that. By the time I absorb all that between the credits and the alternative of changing a product, it's difficult. But the basic question that I want to ask you, Mr. Oyola, you just said we control the zoning, right? You are the zoning board, right? So there's one thing that I find to be twofold here. The first thing was the property on 537 by Kushner. He was the owner and the developer, right?
Yes.
So in that case, if you own a property and you have a deed and you decide to develop, it's very difficult to stop, right? You can't stop him unless there's resources that he cannot grant.
He has to
the-
develop per what the zoning is in place.
Right. So, but I heard about, and I didn't know about the other two items, property that were in contract. Or Dutch Lane, somebody say that that property, there is a deed restriction. I understand what deed restriction is of 40 single homes or zone for.
It's 10-acre zoning.
10
So it
acre-
would allow for 4 homes to go there.
Right. Now, the developer comes in and makes whatever the seller wants to do, and it's a greed. Greed is an enemy of everything we do in this life.
Yep.
We die by greed and we kill one another by greed. So one thing I want to make clear that I understand, and some of the other laid-back people who probably don't know so much about a deed. I've been owning different properties. If there's a zoning regulation and the owner has a deed that is that restriction, whether it's an easement or a restriction to what you can and you cannot do, right? So then when the developer buys the property, he has to change the zoning. He has to get an approval to change the zoning. Does that not have to go in front of you, the board, and approve it or not approve it? Right? So obviously, he can't build affordable housing. He can't build multiple units if it's zoned for single homes. So why is it so difficult to stop him?
I wish it were that easy. I wish it were that easy. We control the zoning, but these developers then go to court and they litigate. And judges have agreed with the developers that if a town has not met their obligation in certain circumstances, the court allows the developers to override the local zoning. So that's what our job is. Our job is to hold the line on zoning, to maintain control over our local zoning. But the Mount Laurel Doctrine has been there for 40 years, and they want the proponents want to control the zoning instead of allowing towns to control it.
And when the town fights, if they fight it, so you control it. Towns have tried to control it. Then they come strip you of your immunity or whatever, and they strip you of your control over zoning and planning, and then you're really at the mercy of whoever wants to build. So that's what the state does. They'll come in and strip you of your zoning.
I've heard this comment before.
Yeah.
I've heard the statements before, as you say, Mr. Ozetta.
And
So-
how many municipalities have won this fight?
Yeah, that's.
Zero. Not
Yeah.
one.
I've heard that before as well. But fighting it's always a tool that it's with us to fight, all right? Now, I mean, the cold snack, it's made of special, somebody brought it up, it's a township. There's golf courses, there's parks, there's water, there's accessibility to, I mean, it's a fabulous city. Being destroyed because people just are lazy or we don't fight, it's a real sin, and it's a tragedy. To go back to this builders who, when they file for a change of zoning and you refuse it, then we have to go to court. That's the process, right? So the other problem is we don't have enough money to defend ourselves. Or is it?
We didn't say that.
No.
We will,
No.
we will defend the township.
We will defend the township.
So what I would like to walk out of here tonight is with the feeling that the panel here, by the way, I praise the work you do. Of course, we don't know, we don't see that, but I know you're committed as we are. I'm now getting to know you a little bit more personal, the names and the people, and we all, the same cause. So I like to go out with the feeling that Dutch Lane, as well as the corner of Dutch Lane and
Boundary,
right. I mean, Dutch Lane had its own restriction. I mean, the fight is going to start and is going to go as far as we can to stop it. And rightly, somebody brought up a subject. We can put money together, maybe yes or not. The township, Mr. Viola, you're right about the debt ratio that you have compared to what you have to pay back. But these are property that are affordable to investors of our own that could just keep the property as is. And I speak for myself. But if we create a cloud of people that can meet with one of you guys and know that that property is for sale, and if the builder is building whatever, do you know what the builder is bidding there in the Dutch Lane sale? The contract is on. What is he paying for it? Do we know?
I'm not aware of what the numbers are.
That house has been on the market for $5,999,000 for many months now. So they're trying to sell it for $6 million. I do not know what the developer gave to it. But Mr. Orsino, you've come to our meetings. You've listened. I love the passion. I love what you're saying over there. That's why I'm sitting on this dais. I came here 6 years ago for that exact reason. I was sitting in one of these magical town halls going, are you freaking kidding me? This cannot be legal, not in our country. And lo and behold, I've realized it's not as simple as they can do whatever the hell they want, but it's very nuanced. It's very in depth. That's why I chose to get involved. I ran so that I could have a seat at the table making the decisions on how we move forward. And I can tell you, and I know we are all committed up here. Okay. I can't speak to future governing bodies, 10 years down the line. We are committed to fighting in a way as if we're using our own money. We do that in budget time like it is our own money because it's our taxpayer money, to fight in ways that protects the town, right? Protects the town, but also allows us to protect our zoning laws that prevents builders from coming in and telling us what we have to do. So we are absolutely committed to fighting the good fight, but we're not going to throw money away at losing propositions, okay? Because listen, at the end of the day, we pay professionals a lot of money who know so much more about this. I mean, I would say you might as well be a formal attorney knowing affordable housing right now. You probably know more than our affordable housing attorneys because you spent so much time. Literally, guys, this is over a full-time job for people, 40, 50 hours a week between the professionals, between talking with residents. It's a lot of work, but we believe in what we're doing. I'd encourage everybody to get involved, but no, we are fighting the good fight. And how can residents get involved? Well, especially since the last meeting, I had residents reach out and talk to me about, well, what happens if I want to purchase Squilary Farm? What if I want to purchase Wellspring? What are my options? Okay. They want to know about preservation funds. That's what you guys can do. First of all, pony up some money and buy some of these places. They've been trying to sell for 24,500,000. They've been trying to sell Wellspring for 7 years. They haven't been able to sell it. Nobody has even taken a bite out of the apple. So now all of a sudden, a developer's interested. Now we got some people looking like, hey, maybe, oh my God, maybe we should do something with it. People should do that now. Private citizens can band together and find somebody that you know that wants that property. Find someone who maybe wants to make, a high-end hotel on Wellspring, okay? Go out and find those people. We can't do that. That's not our job. I think that's illegal. Isn't that illegal?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't I say keep us on the right side of the Constitution? So what I'm saying is
do jail.
we are absolutely going to fight, but we're not going to waste money on litigation that we know the township will lose based upon the knowledge of the affordable housing.
And having said that, it's much easier for us to stand up here and you'd be, because of the political sentiments of this town, to stand up there, especially for me, to say we're fighting and we're going to die on our way to Trenton.
Okay, you are
But what's going to happen then, you'll vote for me, right? You'll say Frank's a swell guy, but I just led you into off a cliff. Because then when they build that 5-story building, you name it Rizzuto Towers, because I'm the guy who is responsible for getting it built. And there are towns right on our border that are getting crushed because exactly that happened in their towns. They said, we're going to fight. And they paid all this money to the lawyers and the taxes went through the roof and they got slammed with thousands of units, thousands and thousands of units. And I know it's not all doom and gloom, but our numbers are manageable, and we're fighting like you wouldn't believe to make sure that we can come through round 4. Our goal is to not one shovel in the ground. It's going to take a lot to get there, but I think we can do it. I think we have a sound plan, and if we stay the course, we can do it without having to build. Nobody's happy about what's gone on in the past. No one. But that's it. And if I can go for another 10 years without hitting another shovel in the ground, well, we've progressed in keeping Colts Neck rural.
I'm happy to hear that, and what I just wanted to.
4 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
It has
No,
been
we
so
took his
long.
time.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
One last thing,
Mr.
Mr. Orsino.
If we can just
Yes.
not go back and forth.
Yes.
No, we're in.
Yeah,
we're in
Mr.
one
Orsino,
last-
well, we could talk after.
I have one last thing for Mr. Orsino. So this is the situation. It's just going to take 2 seconds. It's going to take 2
Sir,
seconds.
while you're, please,
Walk up.
please
yes.
just.
I just want to answer his question. So the 3 properties, Wellspring, Squilari, the 68 Obery, and Dutch, all have issues with them. 2 are in the 3,000-foot setback on the base. 1 is deed restricted. We defend that in court, and the developers say, see, Your Honor, they're acting in bad faith. We have projects that we can help them meet their objective, their affordable housing obligation, and they're fighting it. They have reasons and excuses why we can't, why they won't let us do it. That's the situation that we're in.
Thank you. Name and address. And
I
I'm
apologize.
sorry
I
that
didn't
you
mean
had,
to be
listen,
disrespectful.
it is absolutely
I'm
late.
sitting here 3
We
hours.
do, I
I just had
understand.
a simple question. I'm new to this township. I've been here several years.
Welcome.
Do any of you know anything about this letter? Is
Sir,
this
can
not from
I'm
the
sorry,
township?
sir. Can
This is the only reason why I'm here.
What's the
And my point being, it says town alert, major development proposed for New Dutch Lane. I'm sorry, Joseph Geiger, 15 Westgate Court.
What was that last name, sir?
Geiger, Geiger.
Sir, can you bring that letter up to you?
Sure.
Obviously, by the look on our faces, we don't know what you're talking about.
What's that?
I said, obviously, by our looks, we have no idea what you're talking
No,
about.
I wouldn't have
But,
been here if
yeah.
it wasn't for this letter. So my question to all of you is,
Thank you.
how can you make the residents more aware of what's
It did
going
not come from
on?
the township, sir.
Excuse
It
me?
did not, that letter did not come from the township.
I didn't think so. A resident must have put it in my mailbox. I found it today. It's a good
Okay.
thing I found it. But my question is, how can the township make the residents more aware of what's going on? I listened to, one
Yeah,
second.
no,
I
no.
don't
He
mean
gets his
to be
4 minutes.
Yes.
I got 4 minutes.
About
All
3.5.
right, I'll tell you how to settle, how to stop them from building when I'm done. So to make us all aware, I hear all of you asking for help, ask the questions. It's good to have dialogue, open collaboration. But if we don't know anything, how are we going to help? How do we participate?
how can the township make the residents more aware of something like this? I called the 4 people that I know in Colts Neck. They didn't know anything about it. I come here, that thing says 200 units. I hear from this gentleman tonight, it's 395 units. So what can we do better as a township? And it's no disrespect to anybody up here. Everybody's being fully transparent. But I didn't know anything. Several of my neighbors didn't know. Now, to get to the point, how to stop them from building, I'm a 42-year member of the Carpenters Union out of New York City. Tell a developer he has to build union, they won't build it because the delta is 30 to 40% more. And then he'll take a hike. So that's my
I love
question.
it. Thank you.
Thank
For-
you.
Can I just say, first of all,
You can, but I'd like the mayor to reference it to respond to you.
so
The mayor's just going to reference it. So
So I just want to say this. I apologize for all of you who came here. A lot of times I like to have a heads up to these kinds of things going out. But the one thing I like about this going out to people, first of all, I don't know where this was found, but I'm hoping it wasn't in anyone's mailbox because that is a federal offense.
it was apparently put in his mailbox. So we
That
should
is,
inform the
that
police
is
department.
a federal offense and we'll be alerting our police that was done. But with that being said, I appreciate the call to get people out here. But let me be clear. We sit here every 2 weeks and we live stream our meetings. So it's great. You can go back and you can watch all the stuff that we've done. We have been speaking on affordable housing and all of this. As soon as we could disclose that information, I think we disclosed it in August or September about these interested parties and what was going on. However, there's a lot of things that go on in this town day in and day out. We can only do so much with getting the information out, which is why I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad many others are here. Guys, I'm not saying you have to tune in. You could be at home having a nice drink, maybe a little quesadilla, something tasty, and watch what's going on. You can't interact the way you did right now, but every 2 weeks we have our meetings. Please listen and get informed. We do as much as we can with posting on the websites. We always post our agendas. We always post our minutes, the ordinances, all of that, okay? We try to be as transparent as possible. Melinda Martin, who's been coming to our meetings for years, made a great suggestion for people who are moving into town, doing something along the lines of a welcome to Colts Neck and maybe just a go-to place where you can find on the website some of this information, okay? Because we're not going to recreate the wheel of the website. Don't cry over there. My township administrator is like, oh God. But I think you're doing exactly what you should do is come, ask the question, and I'm sorry that you had to sit for 3 hours, but think about it. You kind of got a gift of a book.
Well, if you had
But
to
we
sit and listen
definitely.
to the 2 characters that were around me.
I heard them.
But I know all you-
Let me also,
Looking back.
one more thing you should do. You said today you contacted 4 friends. Don't contact friends. Contact any one of us. Contact the administrator. Contact the people that have the facts, that know the facts. There's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of rumors, a lot of gossip, a lot of people who think they know what's happening and they put out newsletters and they send out emails. I can guarantee you no one knows the facts better than the 5 of us here. My phone number is on the website, the mayor's, all of our phone numbers are on the website. I'll give you my card right now.
I was going to say.
You can call 24/7. I will return your call. We will have coffee. I will answer every question. Any of us will answer any question you have. The point is, get information from people that have the answers and know the facts. Because that's how you learn. That's how you inform.
And by the
Knowledge
way,
is power.
if we knew that letter went out, quite honestly, we would have done.
Oh,
you're kidding.
So,
sir,
you've been hosed.
Sir,
just to be clear, the last meeting we had, we put affordable housing on as a discussion item. If I was aware that this letter went out and we knew tons of people were coming, we would have put a discussion item on in the beginning of the meetings to address a lot of this. And that's usually what we do. It's, hey, look, this is actually something that the township didn't hear about. I'm
No,
shocked.
the fact that this went to this many residents and also residents in Marlboro, this has to be brought up to the police department. This is a
Absolutely.
federal crime.
Yes.
So anyway.
So
but-
with that being said.
It's that much of a crime.
No,
Well,
no,
it's
okay.
not,
Mail
it's
fraud.
also not accurate.
In the grand scheme of things, what I'm just grateful for is it brought residents here to get information. Now, I'm going to give my phone number out, each of you. So if you want to write this down, you can call me in the middle of the night. I ain't answering.
I was gonna say,
It's
no.
732-810-3023. Okay? I talk to people all the time. People give great information. Some people don't. 732-810-3023. Please reach out.
I have my card.
It's
for
also
anyone who
good
wants
to have it. Yeah, I gave out all my cards today.
Because we all know strength comes in numbers.
100%.
So, you know, this is pretty sad for a major issue in this township to see, what, 30, 40 people here?
Well, you missed the
place should
last
be
meeting.
crawling with residents.
Well, the last meeting,
Outraged.
we had 113 outraged folks here last meeting. And we had I thought we had a great meeting. We value people coming in and learning, quite honestly. I apologize. I didn't realize why all of you were here.
And-
Doesn't mean that we are able to move things along any quicker. We are here doing the business of the township, vouchers, finances, all that kind of stuff as well. But, you know, moving forward, it is good for us to have that information. And
No, just real quick. Again, every 2 weeks, we give an update on affordable housing.
Yes.
And then if it's something, if it's a major update or something that we've had a series of town hall meetings. We've had upwards of 300-400 people at each. The last one, I think we only had that was pretty small. It was about 100 maybe.
Last one, we
The
had
one
to do a count to
I
make
had
sure
to
we
count
didn't.
because we were over.
Oh, that one, no, I'm talking about the big town halls. But we do the town halls as well. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye on the website and just come to the meetings. We give an update every 2 weeks.
And that letter intimated that something has already been done and approved. That is not accurate. That is not accurate. Someone is interested in developing that project. That property, just like there's people who are interested in expanding their home and doing a renovation project. This stuff happens a lot. Now, we are transparent and we share that information with you as much as we can. But, you know, this is not so foreign to a municipality that developers are interested in doing something. It doesn't mean it happened. So just to clarify, yes.
Frank Coletti from 32 Rivers Edge Drive. Firstly, my first meeting here, and I want to
Welcome.
thank you all. You all did a great job. It was a great meeting, very informative. I think I speak on behalf of the whole community. We appreciate everything you're telling us here. What can we do as a community to help?
If you get a letter in your mailbox, please tell the
I got
administrator.
another one. It's a different one.
You got a different letter. I'm coming
I got a
down.
different one. But I'm not looking to, get anybody in trouble or anything
No,
like
but we
that. I
need to
just
know.
want to see what can we do to stop this. I know you said, collectively, if we all put our efforts together, we can make things happen. What can we all do? I'm sure all of us would love to help, and I know I would. So tell us what we could do. I know there were some ideas you mentioned, maybe letters for the legislators or whatever that maybe, a form letter that could be drawn up and everybody could start signing them. I don't know.
Letters for the
LLCs
legislator.
form to buy the properties, by the
That-
community,
yes, and-
things like that.
And I'll tell you, there's been a lot of action since our last meeting of just that. People are writing to their legislators. People are banding together to say, I know people, I know a group that's working on a group of investors now that are trying to purchase a farm for that very reason. Like if we can get enough people together. But also remember, guys, that there's other people out there who are like, well, I don't really care what happens on Aubrey Road because I live on Montrose. Okay. So it's interesting. You have some people don't care. They only care about certain areas. You guys are here this week to complain about the boundary crime. And by the way, we could have everybody here up in arms, with the pitchforks. That unfortunately doesn't even come into play in the court system with affordable housing. So we appreciate it. We're sitting there with the same pitchforks, ready, angry. None of us could believe that someone was trying to build on a deed restricted property. But with that being said, there are things that people can do. I mean, it wasn't until developers stepped in that there was people even interested in some of these farms. As I said, they were trying to sell Wellspring for 7 years. He was trying to sell that property. Okay. The gentleman who owned Crine and Boundary, he passed away in the middle of building his house. So now it goes to the estate. They're trying to sell it. You know, at some point in time, the more information people have and do, you guys can band together, you know, and do that. But simply being informed, going back in time, watching some of the meetings, we do give updates. You know, maybe some people don't care about the Board of Health update, but you know what? It's great. You can fast forward to like the affordable housing section. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in our town. Affordable housing is not the only thing. We know how angry people are because, again, that's why a lot of us are sitting up here. We got motivated to be elected and come here. And that's the other thing. If you want to get involved, you know, pay attention to who you're electing. Find out what is important to them, and not just what they're saying, but their actions. Okay, I could sit up here and tell you, I will never ever let another Levana be developed in this town again. Okay, 360 units. I could sit here and tell you, I will never allow that. That's a hard, but guys, I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's rear. I'm going to be realistic and tell you the facts of affordable housing. I am here to tell you we are all fighting, absolutely fighting to avoid that. We don't want to make the same pitfalls that were made previously that got that thing developed in the first place. But I'm not here to make promises of things that I don't know if we can achieve. But we're here to tell you we're going to fight our asses off to make sure that any development that goes on here is responsible and falls in line with what Colts Neck is all about.
I've been fighting for 8 years. I was 6'3" and had a full head of hair when I started this job.
Damn straight you were.
Do you have a letter?
No, I did get one, but I threw it out.
You did get one?
Yeah, just the one with the colors on it.
Oh, you got the color.
Again, I'm personally happy that people are here. I just wish that maybe whoever sent out the letter, who's probably at home on our live stream listening, do us a favor, give us a heads up. If we need to have a town hall on affordable housing, which we are planning and putting that together, by the way, we need a heads up. The Crine Road boundary situation was not brand new to us. So we've been speaking about it in here for months. So, you know, again, I apologize. You're all hearing about it. You're going through the stages of grief, as Committeeman Rizzuto says all the time: anger, denial, frustration. You know, our goal is to get us to happiness. Go on. Name and address.
Real quick before you start.
Yeah, no problem.
On the 3 developments, the 2 developers with the 3 projects, the way this legislation worked, this new legislation that was adopted in 2024 for round 4, we had to submit our plan to the state by June 30th. Then for a 60-day period, anybody, any interested party, a developer, a property owner, a township, anybody, Fair Share Housing Center, the advocate, could file an objection to our plan. Those were due August 31st. We learned on September 2nd that we had the 3 objectors. At that time, it was 2 developments, and it was Fair Share Housing Center objecting to our plan. We did not meet until September 10th. We met in executive beforehand. We discussed, because we cannot meet. We can't meet like this unless we're in a public session. We cannot, no more than 2 of us can be together at any one time to talk township business. Why? Because we form a quorum. It's state law. It's a violation of open public meetings. You have a right to hear how we conduct the township business. So on September 10th, we met at 6:30 in executive with our attorneys on Zoom, telling us what was going on. That night, we told the public that we had the objectors. So as soon as we're hearing this stuff, we're letting the public know. As soon as we have any any progress, I'm not going to use the development word, and any new development in this process, we're articulating it, and we're talking about it every meeting we talk about it. So a lot of new faces here. I'm sorry that you were brought out under, well, not really false pretenses.
One letter was false. One letter was just urging to get out.
Yeah.
So
So it got you here, and that's the main thing. You're here.
Yes.
And please come back.
Thank you. Nunzio Minucci, 5 Wide Horizons Drive. So I was here on one of the last meetings, and I asked the question, basically, what are we doing proactive right now? I know you said you zoned properties south of 537 and 34. That's Plan A. Is there a Plan B? Just to say, hey, I know the town, I asked this question, does the town own property? You said you have 2 1-acre lots. I know we have green acres, right? So I don't know if those could be developed, but the same way that can't be developed, how can they develop things that are deed restricted? So rather than us just, again, be on the defense, is there any offensive plan to develop those properties?
I don't want to interrupt you. Are you done speaking, Nunzio?
Wow, I didn't get 4 minutes.
No, you get your full 4 minutes.
I didn't want to cut you off.
You have a credit.
No, you have a credit. I wasn't looking to stop you. Before I chimed in, I felt like I interrupted you. I get excited over affordable housing to talk, so I sometimes jump in there. I apologize. So you were talking about that. We are absolutely being proactive, but as we've said up here, there's only certain information that can be shared publicly. Okay, so anytime we're in litigation, negotiations, that kind of stuff, we cannot speak of that in public. So I apologize, we're limited in that.
And Mayor, if I could just add one
yeah.
thing, we are live stream, so be very aware that we're not the only ones watching this. So we're very aware that developers could be watching.
Just one other thing. So if the town works with some builders that live in town, I know there are some willing to help. You can fulfill the obligation on a 1-to-1 basis rather than a 5-to-1 basis. Not everybody needs to hit a home run. Just hitting a single and helping the town is definitely something people want to do.
Absolutely. And one of the other things I was going to say is another thing that people can do, look to possibly help the town. Do you have a piece of property in town that you think would be valuable to the town to do that 1-to-1 housing? Help identify lands, zone things, that we can look to put something on and rezone ourselves for that proactive reason. So I would just say if anyone in town knows people who have land, who are looking to do so, again, whether it's preservation or to look to work with the town to donate land to be used for affordable housing projects, we're very open to that. So I'm glad that you brought that up just for that simple reason. People want to know what they can do. That's what they can do. There's a lot of people with land in this town, and we are happy to have those conversations with
So
people.
to answer your question, it's yes and yes. Yes, we have a Plan B, and yes, we're actively pursuing it. And there's a Plan C and D and E and F, and and if it's a negotiation or litigation, we can't really go into strategy. But yes, we are pursuing all of those avenues. All of the suggestions that were given at the public meetings were taken into account, the will of the people. A lot of people, said the same thing you did. Can we look into maybe 100% affordable? Can we look into group homes? Can we look into veterans housing, senior housing? Now, all these things, as you've been to the other meetings, they have different credits to them, depending on what you build. And the answer is yes. We're looking into all of that, and yes. So
and stay tuned.
Yeah.
Because
it's
as soon
evolving
as
every day.
as soon as what we're doing behind the scenes crystallizes, you will be the first to know.
Okay.
And it'll be not years down the road. We're talking, in the near term. So please stay
Thank you
tuned.
again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, just so everyone knows and everyone at home, our goal, and it's in our plan, is to, without hitting another shovel in the ground in the next 10 years, during round 4, without, go to the end of round 4 without having a shovel in the ground. That's our goal. That's what we're working towards. And we got a lot of different balls in the air right now. But as soon as anything is able to be released, we release it in real time. So stay tuned.
Anybody else? Can I have a motion to close public comment?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Guys, the next township committee, this is super important. The next township committee meeting is going to be held Friday, January 2nd, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. That is our reorganization. There's a lot that goes on at that meeting, the installation of new folks. So we look forward to seeing you and call.
Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you.